Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the greatest live show of all time. That is right, everybody. I may or may not include timestamps in the description below. That's right. Oops, wrong button. Didn't mean to press that one. Anyways, guys, hope you're all doing well. But yeah, for VOD watchers, may or may not include timestamps in the description below, depending on what I do today. All right, we got a little bit of stuff on the docket. It's a loose docket. Don't get me wrong. It's just a playlist of stuff I intend on covering in January of 2026. That's right. We're going all out this year. And by that I mean maybe I'll be slightly less lazy this year than I was last year, in which I was very lazy. So, right now we're actually off to a terrible start because we haven't even been streaming close to every day. We haven't even been streaming every other day. Chat, make sure to drink lots of water. Very good for you. You will be sad if you don't. With that being said, hello, Florida man, and congratulations on being the first person in chat. Hello, Carson Gives CBT. Hello, Femyoz. Hello, Link of TW. Hello, Lily Lettuce. My B-day is today, y'all. Well, happy birthday, Carson. Hello, Tipster. Hello, Alexi. Hello, Mommy Ramiru. Hello, Melon Bunny. Hello, Peter. Hello, Ivory. Hello, Ibrahim. Hello, Missouri Railroad Productions. Hydrate. Yes, hydration is very important. Head pats for Femyoz. Yo, thank you. Anyways. How are you all doing today? Y'all better be doing well. Or else I'm going to be very, very sad. Which is like, the complete opposite of happy. And you wouldn't want me to be very, very sad, parentheses, the complete opposite of happy. Now, would you? I'm just 85% done with dishes. I've never measured the extent to which I'm done with dishes in percentages. I might measure it in terms of like, yeah, am I most of the way done? Am I like halfway done maybe? I guess that's like the closest. I don't think I've ever thought, yeah, 85% specifically. I have exams. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Playing War Thunder. Good shit, good shit. Hello, Derek. Good to see you. I slept until 12:30, so I'm energized. Yeah, that's kind of real. Hello, the United States Marine Corps. Hope you're also doing well. My hair is a mess, but like messy hair is kind of the vibe today. I feel like I want to go for like a trashy aesthetic today. My goal is to look as trashy as humanly possible, but in a good way, of course, in a good way. And like, like the fucking, trashy, I've slept with 300 people within the last year type of person, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That's what I'm going for today. Also, because I'm wearing this choker, if we reach the dono goal, I'll put the leash on. Yes, I do have a leash that attaches to things like that. So if we get the daily dono goal, which can only be achieved through Streamlabs donations, the reason for that is because it's broken. And I don't feel like doing a bunch of math. Additionally, Streamlabs donos give me all the money, whereas YouTube takes 30%. So there's also that element. So I guess it works out in the end, incentivizing that. But yeah, anyways, we're probably not going to get there. But if we do, that'd be nice. But yeah. Hello, Eye of History. Hello, Lovely Willow. Hello, Ona Vela. Hope you're doing well. Just chilling. Had an alright day. Not enough snacks, though. Yeah, that makes sense. It looks like you just got pinned up against the wall in a club. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the vibe I'm going for, I predicted it. Stapios? What does that mean? I gotta go. Can't watch stream today. Very sorry to hear that. My condolences. What's on the news for today? Well, I'm not really a news channel, but, we might cover some, like, weird lolcow type figures. Some niche lolcows. There's this one guy named the Young Jeffrey who has a, very interesting channel. I'm actually one of his subscribers now. Because he's posting really good stuff that, I gotta watch it on stream, of course. Type of good. Chris Chan lore? No, Chris Chan is Norm Slop. Why would I ever cover Norm Slop? I don't do that. I don't cover Norm Slop. Okay, I cover real shit. And by that I mean, you know, the more important lolcows of the world, like Trumpster Bob and Sabrina TW. Olive Oil Run is boring as fuck. Does anyone remember Brother Ray? You know, we covered him quite extensively for a while. Michael Nelson, that's another classic. Actually, it was one of the newer ones, but still. He's a classic in my heart, okay? Brother Ray is an absolute classic. We gotta take a look at Brother Ray at some point in the near future, because we haven't looked at him in a while. A lot of Kino content on his channel. You know, it's just like, you know, he'll say like the craziest shit ever. And then, you know, it's crazy how he doesn't manage to get clip farmed. He doesn't get clip farmed because no one's paying attention to him unless I'm clip farming him. You know, sometimes I clip farm him. I forgot about Trumpster Bob. Yeah, I actually, dude, he forgot about me. I don't think he, now granted, I think that if he saw the name Femyoz, then he would recognize me, but he didn't recognize me based on my appearance. So, yeah, because I showed up on his live stream, and I was streaming as well. I didn't tell him I was streaming. I didn't tell him who I was. I told him that I was this person named Gertrude McAfee. I'm like, yeah, you remember me, right? And he's like, yeah, I remember. You're that one lady from, you know, like a year ago. And I'm like, yeah, that's me. He was obviously bullshitting, but I was playing into it because, you know, as soon as I realized he didn't even recognize me, oh boy, I knew that there was so much Kino content to go through. Yeah, Gertrude McAfee. Fit check. I'm not wearing, what if I'm not wearing pants? Then what? What if I'm literally just not wearing pants? What you gonna do then? What's up? How's Obama doing? Very good. And welcome back, sweetened, cutthroat. Hope you're doing well. Welcome back, Cheetah Man. Looking ravishing, why thank you. Hello, beautiful goddess. Hello, Nova. Hope you're doing well. Hello, 23 Trippy, saying, hey, Yos, how's your day been? It's been okay. Fairly lackluster, if you will. Didn't really do anything. I got a workout in, so that's good. I'm gonna start losing weight, so, not been eating that much, because, you know, you know, a few days ago, I checked in what my weight is. Mind you, I'm 5'6", and you want to know what the scale said? 150 pounds. I don't want to be 150 pounds. I don't want that. So instead, you know, I've decided, you know, I'm gonna, you know, watch what I eat a little bit more, exercise, etc. You know. Anyways, hot fucking damn, good to see you again. Hello, Neko Girl Taylor. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you as well. Hey, how are you? I'm doing all right. How are you, Rosewater? Welcome back, Tubian. Hello, Moldy Urinal. W username. We love names like that. Saying you're a beautiful creature. Why, thank you. I remember when I was 120 at around, at 6 feet, at around 13. That's crazy. That is very underweight. Very, very underweight. Gotcha. I was just making my drop in to wish everyone a great night. 150 isn't too bad, though. Wishing the best on the loss, though. Hell yeah. I'm basically just gonna get back down to, like, 130-ish. 120 would probably be pushing it, where it gets into the territory where it doesn't really make me look better. But yeah, I guess 120 to 130. You know, maybe the lower 130s, like 130 to 135 is kind of my goal. Because, you know, that's what I was, like, half a year ago, I think. I didn't know you were so short. 5'6" is not so short, okay? That's medium height, okay? That's slightly taller than the average woman in the world and in America. Yeah. Yeah, I bet you didn't see that one coming. But yeah. No skeleton maxing? Yeah. No, my goal is not to become a skeleton. But, yeah. I mean, I got a bit on you on 5'10". Yeah, that's fair. I mean, obviously, you know, taller you are, the more you're gonna weigh on average, right? Anyways, I'd put it in you. That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for your insight. Cameron, thank you. Really good stuff happening in the Femyoz YouTube chat. I'm 6 foot still, but over time I went from that to 190, but I grew an inch, so 6'1". Yeah, fair. So you're not 6 foot still. You're taller than that. I am conservative and I'd still destroy you, babe. Well, at least you're an honest conservative. You know, a lot of these motherfuckers will just straight up lie. And, you know, just like be like, no, I would never date a trans person. And it's like, you look at their fucking porn history and it's nothing but, you know, trans people and femboys. And it's like, well, you know, for someone who claims to, you know, hate trannies so much, like we sure, you know, do show up a lot, you know, in their Pornhub history. You know, I'm just saying. You know, it's very interesting. You know, if you look at, you know, the most sought after porn in conservative states in America, you know, it's disproportionately, you know, trans people, or the terms they'll use is like, you know, she-male, you know, really like weird chasery stuff like that. Yeah. Same thing with femboy porn. Look, all I'm gonna say is, you know, I feel like the more you repress, you know, the more you end up like that, you know, where it's like a, you know, what's Newton's law or whatever the fuck? Every action has an opposite reaction or some shit like that. Yeah, something like that. That sounds about right. I'm certain most people who'd say they don't want to do you are lying. Yeah, or not attracted to women. Either or. You know. Because, all I'm gonna say is, like, yeah, groypers be like that. You know, it's very, very noticeable in you know, Nick Fuentes' sort of sphere. Not with just, I mean, Nick Fuentes himself is like that. Mike is buzzing. That's not good. I think I fixed it. Anyways. I'm gonna have to check me out some femboy porn. I am not ashamed. Based. W moldy urinal. You know, W username. You know, W taste. W everything. No OnlyFans. I'm gonna make an OnlyFans at some point. I'm gonna move out first, though. And then I'm gonna do that. Whoa, voice scared me, lol. What voice are we talking about? I have no idea what you're even saying. What do you mean my voice is scaring you? Just kidding, but didn't expect it. Didn't expect what? I have no idea what you're talking about. And, yeah. Do you still live with your parents? Yeah. Yeah, I do, unfortunately. But I'm gonna move out soon. I am going to move out soon. That is right, everybody. That's right. That's right. Anyways. Doesn't bother me, but I prefer the girl voice. Hell yeah. Hey! Thank you very, very much for the 200 Mexican peso. Or, yeah, 200 Mexican pesos. That shows up as okay, that would be $11 based on what it says under chat revenue. So yes, thank you IR Roy for the 200 Mexicans saying, your voice is sounding sweeter over time when people aren't pissing you off. You sure are easy on the eyes. Sorry to objectify you. Hugs. Yeah, no worries. Hey, I get it. You're attracted to what you're attracted to. And at the end of the day, you know, hey, game is game, okay? I can't judge, you know? Looking fab today, sis? Why, thank you. Don't get into internet fights. To be fair, it can be very, very good content, which is one of the main reasons why it's, you know, worth doing in many cases. You know? Living with your parents is underrated if you ask me, though. Yeah, well, it's not as good as it's cracked up to be. Though to be fair, mine make me pay rent, so it's like I may as well just move out. Yeah. Plus, they don't want me to live here anymore, so there's also that. People are lifting your balls a bit too much in the comments, eh? No, no, I don't mind. I don't mind. I have a good time. That's wild, yeah. It really do be wild, huh? Also, hello, Cyric. Hope you're doing well. Welcome back, Ethan George. Hello, that one guy. Gotta say hello to everybody. Hello, Jedi Cly. Mr. X. Hope you're all doing well today. On this fantastic fucking... What day is today? Tuesday. Yes, Tuesday evening. Yes, Tuesday evening. I am very good at remembering exactly what day it is. Of course. You sound like a middle schooler with the male voice. Yo! Yo, thank you, Dean Earl, for the 50 Canadian. You beautiful fucking bastard. Holy shit. Yo! Oh my god, I almost just burped. That would have been bad. Thank you very much, Dean Earl, for the 50 Canadian. Very generous. Can we get some 07s in chat for my goat, Dean Earl, saying, the outfit's distracting as fuck. Why, thank you. I'm glad to hear that. And hey, if we get to $100 through Streamlabs, so you see this little daily donegal bar here, okay? That's not going to be the same as chat revenue here. YouTube takes 30% of this. But if for whatever reason, Streamlabs doesn't count it either, so that's like the main reason, I would count it, but I don't feel like factoring it. If we get, say, you know what, let's say 3/4 of the donegal, I'll put the leash on. But in order to make this number go up, it has to be done through Streamlabs, just for the record. But yeah. Anyways. Hi, you're beautiful from an intersex woman. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I am glad to hear that. I'm glad some people think that I actually am beautiful. It makes me happy. It make me very, very happy and warm inside. Yes. Do you do Twitch? No. I might end up doing that at some point. We'll see. It's not distracting enough. Wear a clown wig nose and put on the maid outfit. That's a distracting outfit. You know, you got a point. You know, it could always be more distracting, if you really think of it. Preferred pronouns, she, her. That's right. Hello. Hello, silliest team leader. Hope you're doing well. Love the dress, thank you. It's actually not a dress, but appreciate that regardless. Femi, who are we talking about today? There's some random conservative guy I found in YouTube Shorts. We're gonna make fun of him in a bit. Also, welcome back, Mango Thigh? Probably got it right one time. If I just pronounce it in different ways, I'll get it right eventually, and not know which one is the correct one. Hi from Sweden. Also, I think you're really beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Alingusta? Did I pronounce Alingusta? Did I pronounce that right? I don't know. Lamau, your deeper voice sounds like you could be a wicked witch from Hocus Pocus. I see. Interesting. First is correct. What was the first one? Mangothy? Was that what I said? I don't remember what I said. Anyways. Did you hear that the official cause of death for Charlie Kirk was fentanyl overdose? This is true. This is true. When can we see Femyoz being domed by her girlfriend while Femi is wearing a leash? Any fans only ideas? You know, if I make an OnlyFans, that might be one of the things you get to see, is something like that. Your deep voice sounds like a Russian. I am not from Mother Russia. I am from United States of America. I am not Russian spy. I am from California. I am not sent here by Vladimir Putin. No, I am not big Russian man. I am petite, small American woman. Yeah. Anyways, I can't do it. Now, if you want the, you know, big Russian man cosplaying, as e-girl. You know, I think Vlad NCL is the go-to. Anyways. Femyoz, you are such a pretty girl. Thank you, Rosewater. I really appreciate that. You're so sweet. Hocus Pocus was fire, and the Sanderson sisters were all low-key baddies. Type shit. Welcome, comrade Dimitri. Yes.
Yes, my name is Dimitri. I am from Russia. I am big Russian man.
I can't do it. What about femboys? Yeah, I think they're kind of hot. Women are bae in general. True. Women are so hot. Anyways. Wait a second. How did he die from an overdose? When we all no. You're misunderstanding. His neck just did that. You know, because he had too much fentanyl. Anyways. Let's see. You are very welcome. Hell yeah. And then, too much fent equals neck explodey, yeah. And that's how, I was able to come to the conclusion that, obviously, George Droid completely mogs Charlie Clanker. He neck mogs. He mogs in basically every conceivable way, really. I can't think of a single way in which, George Droid doesn't mog Charlie Clanker. What do you think about Billie Eilish? She kind of exists. Yeah. Yeah, I guess she exists. Thoughts on Venezuela? Yeah, what's happening is pretty bad. I didn't expect that fucking shit to happen. It's not looking too good for Cuba either. But I guess we've decided as a country, fuck acting rationally. Let's just randomly start shit. Because, well, I guess we can. And obviously, as we all know, if we can do something, it automatically means that we should. Anyways. Let's see. Fuck acting rationally, let's start war on a poor country. Yeah, what the fuck do we gain? What does anybody gain? Okay, people die. And then what? Okay. Are we really wanting to create, tension around the world? Is that what we want to do as a country? Create as much tension as possible? That'll be very good for us in the long term when every single country on the face of the earth fucking hates us. Yeah, that's a really good idea. Make us as hated as possible. It's not like we're gonna magically become, the most powerful or successful country again. We're being surpassed. So it's not like we have the power to back it up. And it's also not going to be good for us, in terms of our relations with other countries, because nobody's going to fucking trust us. So, who gains anything from this? Who are the beneficiaries? I guess, I don't know, fucking people that make bombs and weapons, I guess. Weapons companies. Typical idiot leftist. Yeah, the idiot leftist take of, hey, maybe we shouldn't randomly bomb people for no reason. Well, wow, such an idiotic, moronic take. Oh, wow, what a stupid thing to believe, that you shouldn't randomly bomb countries unprovoked. Wow, such a dumb thing to think. You are so wrong, it's hilarious. What exactly am I wrong about? It's not random. Venezuela has oil. Ah, yes, if they have a resource, it means you get to, unprompted, just fucking attack them, I guess. Because they have oil! That worked out really well in the Middle East. When we did all that shit in the Middle East, that worked wonderfully in our favor. We benefited so greatly, of course. The state of the Middle East is wonderful now, as a result, of course. As we all know. Yeah, that's true, the oil companies benefit. Yeah. Yay, big oil! We should be rooting for big oil, of course. More important than human lives, obviously. Big oil. Shout out to big oil. More important than I don't know. More important than your life, more important than our lives, okay? The oil companies just mog us. Okay? It's more important that we, farm them for minerals, like we did in the Middle East, And look at how that turned out. It turned out wonderfully. Nothing could possibly go wrong. No, we're totally not, doing a worse version of what we've already done. No, that couldn't possibly be the case. I forgot more than you know, kid. Dog, we get it. You're like 75 years old. You're a fucking bald, disgusting, hairy, ogre-maxing loser. Okay, you get no bitches. You never got any bitches. Even when you were my age, you never got bitches. We get it. Your life is pathetic. But, you don't gotta take it out on me. Just saying. Like, we get it. You got, you got wrinkles all over your face. You're probably old enough to the point where you've got a fucking parachute of skin growing out of your chin. You know how old people will their chin and neck will be so wrinkly that there's a fucking parachute of skin? Guarantee you that person has one of those. Way off, retard. Well, I don't know. If you think I'm a kid, then you must be unk status. Yeah, 0 maidens. Obviously. I feel like that goes without saying. Sounds like me. I think I'm sexy though. Thank you, Moldy Urinal. Very cool. Your homemade meat locker vagina smells like shit and feet. I'm sure that's like your thing, but keep it to yourself. I get it. You have a thing for that, but I haven't even gotten bottom surgery. I don't know why your go-to is that. It's like you have nothing about my physical appearance that you could attack. So you're like, well, what if hypothetically your neo vagina smells bad, assuming you have one? You could have said anything. You could have completely destroyed me, right? Because I don't even know what you look like. You know what I look like. You could have said that my mid-face ratio is too long, or that I have too much upper eyelid exposure, or that my lower third of my face is too wide, or that I have my nose is too big for my face, or that my lips are too you could have said fucking anything. But your go-to is, I bet you smell bad down there. Fucking come on, dude. There's plenty of things you could have said, okay? You could have hit me with the, you're actually a low tier Becky, or some shit like that. Some fucking, autistic looks maxing shit. Nobody cares what you look like. See, but if you thought I was ugly, you would obviously make it clear. Like, you'd be like, yeah, here's what's wrong with your face. Here are the specific reasons. Your mid-face ratio is fucked. Your lips are too small. The things that I just listed. Femyoz is too beautiful for scrotum face. Hell yeah. You're actually cute as hell. Why, thank you. I think I'm homosexual and that's why I find you so incredibly attractive.
Hell yeah, let's fucking go, dude.
I am a 38-year-old. Oh, you're probably British then. You're probably British. I am a 38-year-old lesbian, you libtard. Okay, you're obviously British. Okay. All of the anti-trans fucking lesbians are all British, okay? So I need to let my cat out. Give me a sec. You're right back. I'm not wearing pants, so I have to switch it to this. Anyways. Where were we? Oh, right. I was yapping. A whole lot. She wasn't lying. Switch it back. Bro, I'm not showing my... Okay, no. No, we're not doing this, chat. I'm not showing my fucking cock. No, okay. I regret saying anything. I should have just not said anything. I live in PA. So let me get this straight. You're a 38-year-old lesbian, okay? You're probably one of the morbidly obese ones. Okay? I'm envisaging this, okay? You've got a bunch of smelly, stinky armpit hair, okay? You weigh 600 pounds. You've got a buzz cut that you dyed green. You, you don't shower. Nope, Lamau. Yeah. No, sorry. Well, if nothing else, you look old, okay? I guarantee that. What's this? Hold on. This man has cured cancer? Do you post yourself at all? Alright, let's find out. Let's find out what's on this person's channel. Okay, let's find out together, okay, chat? This man has cured cancer. Okay, let's find out about this. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, you're not even a lesbian. You're just like a whole ass dude. Okay. Is that you? You just like lied about that. Oh, the maximum quality is 240p. Wonderful stuff. So I was right about you being obese. Not me, dumbass. Fucking post your face then. Post your face. Right, so you posted a shitty video from some random fat guy, of course. But it's not you. Yeah, no wonder you speak Trump. You speak his language perfect. And why are you even talking? You look like one of the Geico cavemen. I'm not the guy in the video. Okay, so you are consistent in that. Yeah, see, notice how if it's like somebody that you find ugly, you know, you make fun of their appearance. You didn't do that with me, so, you know, I'm just saying. So why did you post this random guy's video? You just posted this? And said that he cured cancer, apparently. Do you post yourself anywhere? No? Okay. Yo, thank you, for the, Mr. Elgato 12 for the $5 I don't know what currency that is, but thank you very much for the 5 saying, Michael, don't leave me here. Michael, help me. Michael. I don't know what the fuck that means, but, you know, more power to you. Yeah. That's right. Oh, yeah. Let's fucking go, dude. Anyways, chat. But yeah, that was a waste of time. Actually, we might take a look at that. We might look at that video in case it's schizo enough. We'll see. Chat, there's a YouTuber I want to watch together, okay? Alright, his name is Young Jeffrey. Okay, and he makes nothing but YouTube short garbage. Okay, he posts garbage to YouTube shorts, okay? So, he made a video called Why We Need Toxic Masculinity. Oh boy, I'm so excited to find out why exactly we need toxic masculinity. You know, why is that? Well, surely he's going to give us a very, very good explanation for why.
If you're MAGA, I am more of a man than you will ever be.
Yo, that's true.
Oh yeah, bro, the masculine.
Yeah, notice how the first guy just completely mogs the second guy. It's like point proven. Like his face is more masculine. You know, it's like notice how this guy's face isn't deformed.
Oh yeah.
And then this guy's face is deformed. Yeah, there's a little bit of a difference there. Bro is literally Mr. Potato Head maxing. Holy shit.
Yeah, bro, the masculinity is just oozing out of your pores.
Dog.
Oh yeah.
Right. This right here, chat, is peak masculinity right here, okay? Right here. You know, I can feel the masculinity oozing out of his pores.
Yeah, bro, the masculinity is just oozing out of your pores.
Yeah, likewise.
I'm like kind of a
Well, that tracks. I have a question. When your wife goes out on dates with her boyfriend and they come back, Do you get to sit in the corner and watch and clean up after?
You know, cuck jokes can be very funny when done correctly, but like, that's just sad. It's like, actually, I bet you get cucked by your wife. You know, instead of actually responding to what the person is saying.
Or do you just give her a curfew for how late she can be out with him?
Look, if you're not going to respond to what the person is saying, you got to be funny.
Just curious. And when she produces spicy content with male talent, are you the camera guy or the sound guy?
Dude, Blood is just yapping. Meanwhile, he has no bitches, no wife, no girlfriend, no nothing.
You know, again, just curious. How many feminism rallies did you sponsor this year? Were you always the guest speaker? How much money do you make delivering pizzas from your Vespa?
Dude, this is so embarrassing.
Inquiring minds want to know. My last and quite
Dude, why is he wearing a different shirt in every fucking clip? What is this?
possibly the most important question I have. When you go to a pro-choice rally, do you wear the pink hat? You do, you Sam.
Yeah, I bet you wear the pink hat. Damn, you really roasted him. Holy shit. Guys, I bet he wears the pink hat. Holy shit, bro. Whoa, wow, what a fucking roast, dude. Meanwhile, you, are literally fucking deformed. Yeah, I bet you wear the pink hat, at the protest. Oh, what's that? What do you mean I'm fucking deformed and retarded? What are you talking about? I look like I have Down syndrome. What the fuck are you talking about?
Bagging son of a biscuit. You wear that pink hat and you wear it with pride.
You wear it with pride. Pride, motherfucker. You wear it with pride.
I knew it.
I knew it. Dude, this is so embarrassing. So, because of how embarrassing this shit is, okay? Because of how fucking sad and pathetic and miserable and wretched this absolute freak is, okay? You know, I decided to leave a comment, you know, letting him know how fucking pathetic he is. So, you'll see here, I actually left 2 comments, okay? So, the first one says, notice how his face is way more masculine and attractive than yours too. He didn't respond to it. I left another comment saying, how are you this embarrassing? And then he said, not as embarrassing as a she-they combo. So, you know, I decided to, you know, rather than just, you know, not respond or, you know, respond with something short, you know, I decided to go all in. So I'm gonna move. Wait, no. Where the hell? Where are the comments? Oh, okay, there we go. What? Why can't I? Why is it that when I minimize the screen, the comments, oh, there they are. Okay. Well, that's fucking annoying. But the reason I want to do this is because, you know, I want him to be on screen while I read this response. So this is my response to him saying that the she-they combo is embarrassing, okay? In response to me saying that he's embarrassing, okay? At Young Jeffrey, you're bald. You look 55 years old. Your facial thirds are extremely uneven. Your eyebrows are sparse. Your BMI is clearly very high. You have a noticeably recessed jaw/chin area. Your chin to philtrum ratio is diabolical. Your philtrum is somehow longer than your chin. Your upper eyelids are completely exposed, giving you these hideous bug eyes. Your nose is too wide. Your ears are concave for some reason. Your shoulder width is extremely narrow, and your face is noticeably asymmetrical. You're a 2.5 out of 10 in terms of overall attractiveness, falling within the bottom 0.3% of men. You should invest your time into looks maxing and get plastic surgery, Botox, and a hair system instead of sharing your embarrassingly bad takes on the internet and increasing your cortisol levels when you're already showing severe signs of aging. Bro, I had to do it to him. I fucking ended him. Why did you say this? Bro, I was so bored and I'm like, you know, I'm just gonna fucking go in on this guy. Bro, that shit was so fucking funny, dude. But yeah, this guy is so bald that I think I just got blinded by it. Ow, my eyes. Yeah, dude. Fucking diabolical. You did not end him. That was a yap fest, not gonna lie. Dog, you weren't even paying attention, okay? Every fucking word that I said was explicitly designed to make him more insecure about his disgusting, hideous appearance. Okay? Beautifully executed insult. Thank you. Thank you. I found Femi again. Welcome back, Croissant, co-CEO. Hope you're doing well. Anyways. But yeah, I had to do him. I had to do him like that, okay? Had to make that happen. All right? I don't think he cares. You are literally a chopped man. Okay, be so fucking for real. Who mogs? Who mogs? Me or him? Who fucking mogs here? Let's be so fucking for real, dude. Alright, anyone that says that this guy mogs me is fucking lying. Let's be so fucking for real, okay? My facial thirds are not completely fucking mismatched like his. I have a slightly long mid-face, but that's about it. You know, my chin to philtrum ratio mogs his. My eyebrows mog his. Eyebrows are basically non-existent. My hairline obviously mogs his. That goes without saying. My eye area completely mogs his. He has like a negative canthal tilt. My ears mog his. Though to be fair, they're covered by my hair. But I assure you that they mog. Let's see. What else? My nose actually mogs his, which is rare. Usually I get nose mogged by other people. My jawline mogs his, my chin mogs his. You know, basically every single characteristic that I have fucking mogs his. Anyways. He's missing hair, TBH. Yeah, and quite a few brain cells. You know, he's missing almost as much hair as he has brain cells, to put it bluntly. But yeah, I've never seen a person, a human being with, or well, an alleged human being with such a long, massive philtrum. You're better looking than him? That's my point. Anyone that claims the contrary is, you know, just capping. You know, they're bullshitting. Anyways. I want to get into some other content, okay? We got good stuff to go over, okay? We got some incel tent, all right? We're going to do some more incel slop. All right? We're going to do more incel slop. Don't you worry, chat. All right, we're going to change the title of the stream, okay, to Incel Slop, okay? So that's what we're going to do. Is we're going to make fun of incels, okay? If it'll... There we go. There it is. Fucking hell. Why was that so much fucking effort? Jesus. Anyways. So, without further ado, let's get right into the meat and potatoes. So this guy called Blaze V, very, very nice hair, by the way. I love how it looks like you haven't showered in 3 years. Made a video called Why I'm Completely Anti-Feminist. You know, that tracks, you know, based on your physical appearance, and the fact you obviously don't take care of yourself. You know, you being anti-feminist, you know, it seems pretty in line with that. So let's see what he has to say on the matter. Maybe he makes some really good arguments that will convince me, yes, yours truly, the great Femyoz, to also become anti-feminist. You know?
So, I thought with this video, I'd talk about why I'm completely anti-feminist.
Alright, completely anti-feminist. Let's figure it out.
A lot of women, or even people out
Okay, he talks at like 0.5 times speed, okay? We gotta speed that up to 1.25.
when they hear that, they say, "What? You're anti-feminist? That means you're a misogynist, or that means you really don't like women." No, quite the
Okay, so quite the contrary, okay? He's not a misogynist, okay? Bear that in mind.
actually. But I think these two words, for some reason, are always being put together, like, and I don't know why, because...
I can't think of a single reason. You know, it's not like there'd be like a strong correlation between, you know, anti-feminism and misogyny. You know, the misogynists are usually very pro-feminism, you know, notoriously.
Let me explain my argument as to why I'm anti-feminist. And when I explain my argument, you're probably actually going to join me on this. So,
all right. We're going to join him on it, okay? Most likely. Most likely case scenario, okay? All right, we're getting some good signs here. We're gonna join him most likely. All right, really good stuff happening.
First off, the reason why I'm anti-feminist is, there's a couple of reasons, but one of the biggest reasons is the lack of understanding of modern society, and probably actually I would say since the 1700s-ish.
Since the 1700s, okay? Not returning to tradition, parentheses, the 1950s. Returning to tradition, parentheses, the 17 fucking hundreds. Okay, dude. All right.
The lack of understanding of what the true purpose of women and their role in society is.
The purpose being decided by who exactly? Who are you to decide what people's role in society is? Why can't that be deemed, different on a case-by-case basis? Like, why can't this be decided individually, at an individual level, based on a person's individual strengths and desires?
So, this actually doesn't even start with feminism. So, I think that the downfall and the collapse of, or soon to be, and not necessarily, I wouldn't say soon to be, but slow deterioration.
Holy yap.
Collapse of society is because of the 1770s.
Because of the 1770s, okay. What was so important about the 1770s that led to the fall of modern civilization? Let's figure it out.
Fuck, 1770, feminism wasn't around back then. No, it wasn't. But that was when Romanticism became existent. And what was...
Oh god, he's gonna go on a fucking retarded tirade about a bunch of irrelevant shit and then try to tie it into his main point, isn't he? He's one of these people.
Romanticism. What was the movement
He's one of these people that thinks he's way more intelligent than he actually is.
all about? What was that era all about? Well,
If I just connect enough dots, regardless of whether or not they actually connect, if I just, force them to connect, surely I'll come to a logical conclusion.
Romanticism said that people should be mixing ludus and eros with pragma and philia. Now you're probably saying, what the fuck does that mean? I haven't heard that before. Well, I made an entire video on it, but to keep it
Wow.
really, really short, ludus and eros is basically the lust, the erotic, and the passionate sort of feeling side of love.
Yeah, you could just say horny. You don't need to do all this bullshit, fucking flowery explanation. Just say mixing horny and then whatever the fuck the other thing is.
And pragma and philia is the more so, I guess you could say, nurturing, not nurturing, but more so long-term contract and deep friendship part of love, which does...
So what you're saying is that deep friendships should not be mixed with horniness? Why exactly is this the case?
sometimes involve nurturing. But regardless, actually, that's the very, very first kind of love. So that's not nurturing. That's besides the point. So anyways, that is ludus and eros versus pragma and philia. Now, back then,
Wow.
those two forms of love, and the reason why I use those words is because they're Greek words today.
Okay, but like why? You could just explain it in English like a normal person instead of trying to be this like retarded pseudo-intellectual. It's like, yeah, we all fucking see past it. Nobody is impressed. Nobody is wowed that you know some fucking Greek words.
Those two forms of love back then, they never mixed together. Never, actually, in all of civilization.
Yeah, never. There was never people that fell in love and were also horny for each other. No such thing. Literally impossible for that to happen.
And I really do mean this. Every single civilization believed...
Yeah, every single one. His source, he made it the fuck up, of course, It's a good a source as you could possibly get.
Mixing the two, either one, you would very rarely be able to mix ludus and eros with pragma and philia and have it successful, but it was never...
Just say horniness and actual deeper relationships. Talk normal.
supposed to be part, it was supposed to be a random occurrence, or two, you should never mix ludus and eros and pragma and philia, and if you ever did in society, then you were shunned and frowned upon, basically.
Yeah, that's fucking stupid.
This has been throughout every civilization, and I really do mean this, every single civilization.
Wow. Yeah, I'll just take your word for it, of course.
Majority of them actually disliked mixing ludus and eros with pragma and philia.
And the majority of societies also liked slavery and, believed that the world was flat. They believed a whole lot of dumb shit back in the day. Did you know that most societies used to believe a bunch of retarded shit? Yeah, societies did used to believe a lot of retarded shit. What is your point?
And I'm talking about 95% of civilizations. So
wow.
This is a pretty
Where is he getting this number from?
big deal. And the other 5% weren't even like full civilizations. They were more
Wow.
like nomadic tribes, like the Vikings, who believed that you could
Of course.
randomly mix ludus and eros with pragma and philia, and sometimes out of pragma and philia, you would get a temporary feeling of ludus and eros, but that was incredibly rare. And another thing that they believed in back in the day, before the 1770s, was basically arranged marriage. And I think arranged marriage...
Bro. Yeah, so what he wants to go back to isn't just anti-feminism. He wants arranged marriages, where you're forced to marry somebody that you don't actually give a fuck about, or love, or want to be with, or have kids with. So you're going to be miserable for the rest of your life. Also, thank you, Praise, for the $10, you beautiful fucking bastard. Thank you very much appreciated.
Marriage, the more that I really think about it, exists for a pretty damn good reason.
Yeah, dude. Arranged marriages? Yeah, they existed for a very good reason. Okay, explain what that reason is.
And it's so that these two do not get mixed together. Now,
Why? Why is that important?
That's my first reason as to why I believe.
You're not going to explain why that would be important, why they can't mix? You're just going to presuppose it's the case, that it's bad if they do? No, actually, you should have no feelings for your husband that you're going to spend the rest of your life with and have kids with. You guys should actually hate each other so that these things don't mix, because I have arbitrarily decided it's bad when they do mix. Don't ask me for a reason. You know, I just feel like it's the case.
It's really bad to mix these two together. And to keep it really simple, to shorten the reason again, it's because 100% of civilizations did not mix them.
Wait. So hold on. You've gone from 95% to 100%. Now let's say it's the case that it really was 100% of civilizations that did not mix the two. There's no evidence of this. You're just factually incorrect about that. Right? Let's be so fucking for real. You have no source to back up your claims. Right? There's no reason to believe that what you're saying is true. But let's grant it. Let's say, okay, it used to be the case that that's how it was. Okay, and everybody used to believe the earth was flat. Does that mean that that's the correct way to believe because everybody used to think that? No, of fucking course not. That's stupid as shit. Well, you don't understand though. But Femyoz, a few hundred years ago, everyone used to believe the wrong thing. So it's obviously the case that the wrong thing must actually be correct.
Purposely, we're not trying to mix ludus and eros with progma and philia.
Also, thank you, Praise, for the additional $10, you beautiful fucking bastard. Absolute goat.
The passionate side of love with the contract side of love. Now, the second...
Well, how is a contractual agreement loving in of itself? That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Reason why is because the movement of feminism, that was the initial part to the destabilization of the family.
How does that lead to the destabilization of the family? If you fucking hate your partner, is that not going to be more unstable?
And then feminism comes along around 1900s-ish, and a little bit earlier actually, it originates anyways, but feminism comes along, and afterwards it says, you know what? We need to give women rights.
Yes, women should have rights, just like every other human being. Yeah, all humans should have rights. Yeah, what about it?
To make them, quote-unquote, equal to men. Now...
Yeah, that's a good thing. It's actually a good thing if everyone has equal rights. Yeah, that's better for society and everybody at large.
I find this comical, actually, because...
This guy has a recessed mandibular. He needs to face smash. Yeah. Like, why is he increasing his cortisol levels, talking about how much better it was before 1770 when there were arranged marriages? You know, when he could spend that time bone smashing instead.
Women, for some reason, believed, or it wasn't even actually women, most likely. It was actually most likely, in my view, feminism probably comes from the initial start of romanticism, and then afterwards.
Yeah, so it's probably connected, I bet. You know, probably, maybe.
The belief from people with a lot of money realizing we can basically tax we can tax two people instead of one. We'll get 2 times the amount of taxes, which I think that's why there's a huge economic boom as well. It's because
no, that's actually not the reasoning behind it. It's because women wanted to be treated like, actual humans and not property. But what do you think it was like to be a woman before women had rights? Not fun. It was not a good time. I'll say that much.
Women were introduced into the workforce. But there's a consequence to all of this. So there's a cost to destabilizing the family unit by introducing romanticism. And then
how does that, again, you haven't established why this would destabilize the family unit.
afterwards comes destabilizing the family unit by making the woman independent, or supposedly independent.
Right, of course. She should be forced to be the property of her man, obviously.
And this is because,
You know, it's not like she's like a human being or anything who's like also sentient and, you know, is just as capable of, you know, thinking.
when we allow the woman to quote unquote become independent or become like a man, they have a lot of time. And now their time goes into, I'm going to go into the workforce. Actually, that's basically what they were encouraged to do. So they were encouraged.
Well, yeah, obviously they're going to be encouraged to do that. But I mean, at this point, we live in a very capitalistic society where you know, if you have kids, you can't survive off of, you know, one source of income, right? But that was going to be inevitable anyway. That was going to happen no matter what, right? No matter what, that was going to be the case, right?
To like go into the workforce more and to focus on
The alternative is that what you would otherwise have most likely would be, you know, in an alternate reality where women were never granted rights. What would have happened is, you know, the cost of living and all that shit would have gone up like it did in our current timeline. However, because there would only be one person, you know, that provides income, people would have shittier living situations on average. They would be forced to live together with other families, right? That would be way more common, right? You'd have a lot less privacy. It'd be a lot worse.
their career and focus on a lot of these things that were never part of society. Women would occasionally join the workforce even back then, even before all of this, but it wasn't necessarily strictly because they were trying to like make a name for themselves. That was never part of it. So,
well, no, the reason you go to the workforce isn't to make a name for yourself. It's to get money so that you don't starve and die and to feed your family, which a lot of people want to do. A lot of people don't want their families to starve and die. A lot of people want to survive.
there's this sort of cultural norm that somehow seeped in, and it said we need to like put women into the workforce. And then not only that, there was an even worse cultural norm.
Well, no, the idea wasn't, you know, force them into the workforce or whatever. The idea was if they want to work in the workforce, they ought to have the right to. Now, that's my position. I don't think anybody should be forced to work in the workforce. Hell, if there's a, I don't know, say for instance, stay-at-home dad who has a wife that goes out and works, well, I think that's perfectly reasonable. Now, in today's economy, it's not likely you're going to be able to do that, but I'd be just as okay with that as I would with, I don't know, say for instance, you know, the roles being reversed, you know, the way that this guy wants it, right? But the key there is that the people would be consenting to it. The people would want that, right? People should be able to do whatever they want. That's like the pro-freedom position.
Which happened around the 50s or the 70s, and this was actually because it came after World War II. And it said we need to now destabilize the family unit even more, and we need to kick the children out at 18 years old in order to teach independence. This was, once again, this is a thing that was never part of civilization. Civilizations did not do this.
Yes, society changed. What's your fucking point? Oh, well, they didn't do the thing before, so it must be bad. You know, actually, you know, if you think about it, you're actually taking a very anti-capitalist stance. You know, because before they came up with capitalism, you know, everywhere did feudalism. You know, everywhere in the world did feudalism. You know, it worked fine. You know, it was a simpler time. You know, and it's capitalism that ruined everything. So we should actually go back to feudalism. You know, because before capitalism was invented, you know, none of the societies were capitalist. You know, it wasn't like that before.
To give you a really big example of how essential it was for both the sons and the daughters basically to stay with the family until they found somebody else. And even
why? That's so fucking stupid. Like, why is that obligatory? Like, yeah, if a family decides that that's how they want to operate, yeah, they should obviously have the right to do that, right? You as the parents get to say, yeah, we'll keep you around if you want, you know, until you get a partner or whatever, right? They can do that, right? But the key would be that everybody would be choosing to do it, right? If that's the best possible scenario, then why wouldn't everyone choose to do it? Well, because it doesn't actually, you know, benefit everyone the way he thinks it does. You know, if everyone would benefit from that, then everybody would be doing it right now. They wouldn't, you know, need to be forced to, right?
when they did find somebody else, they would still stay with the family. Was in ancient Rome, you were only able to fully participate in society as a man once you reached the age of 25. You
Yeah, and that's retarded.
could not participate in society before then. And a lot of other civilizations
Yes, and that's a bad thing.
actually follow a very similar trend, which is you don't kick out the kid at 18. And I'm just gonna drop it. This is a
Yeah, I don't think that if you're a parent, you should kick out your kid the day they turn 18. Not in this fucking economy. I agree with that. But like also, I think that, yeah, if you're 18 and you want to live independently, I think you should have every right to. Like, why the fuck wouldn't you? That doesn't make any sense.
retarded take. This is a stupid, incredibly stupid take, and it comes from world.
You're right. I think it's wrong if parents force their kids out the nanosecond they turn 18. Yeah, obviously that's wrong. Right? But again, if the kid decides, that the second they turn 18, they want to move out, right? And they have the ability to do so, there's nothing wrong with that.
World War II propaganda. It actually comes from a movie. I can't remember the exact name of it, but it comes from that movie. And
you know he's about to make a great argument when he starts referencing a movie.
Man, I made a video on all of this. Why you shouldn't kick the kids out at 18. So,
Wow.
I think it's
Well, such a brave, controversial stance. Yeah, no fucking shit, Sherlock. Yeah, of course you shouldn't kick your kids out the nanosecond they turn 18. Yeah, obviously. It's such a retarded thing to argue over.
Young and Free or something. Some sort of like rebel kind of movie. And that was the point where I think society really took a big downhill. So the family unit was already sort of being destabilized. So first it was destabilized because of the Romanticism era. And then afterwards, feminism comes along. And
What does that have to do with people leaving their parents' house at 18? How is that related to feminism at all?
it completely also destabilizes the family unit even more, because now you're spending less time with the kid. The kid is actually being brought up in worse environmental conditions, in my opinion, which is
Your evidence being what exactly? What's to suggest that the environmental conditions are worse? Wouldn't they be better because, the mom and dad are going to have more of a say over, whether or not they're with each other, because it's not based on a fucking arranged marriage. So if things do get ugly, they can just get a divorce, right? Which is going to be a lot better than kids having to grow up, having to watch their parents fight constantly.
exactly why we have the parents that we do have today, which may have made a lot of mistakes for you. And they probably...
Okay, well, maybe the parents can have some personal accountability if they do bad things. Like, it's not fucking society's fault that parents did a shitty job raising their kids. It's not fucking society's fault. It's the parents' fault.
didn't teach you like masculinity and femininity and these sorts.
Bro, what? Why would that be useful? I don't understand. Like, what my parents taught me was that education is important, and that, it's good to have, a solid, stable career, right? They taught me shit like that. Shit that actually matters, right? It wasn't based on gender. It wasn't based on any of that shit, right? Because my older bro is also trans, right? And same thing. Highly focused on education, right? There's a reason for that. Now, granted, I'm here now on YouTube. My main thing is YouTube right now. I'm going to take more classes once I move out. I'm sort of figuring out my situation first. But yeah, there's a reason for that.
Norms. And not only did it do that, I think it's actually creating such unstable people that you can see it in everyday society, where kids will literally shoot and wreak havoc in a school.
Yeah, because they're mentally ill. Yeah, what's your point? What does that have to do with feminism?
Like, this is insane, in my opinion.
Yeah, it must be feminism's fault. Like, this is a video called "Why I'm Completely Anti-Feminist," and you're talking about fucking school shootings. What feminists are advocating for school shootings? What are we talking about?
And I think a large reason of this is because it originates from the family unit being destabilized, and eventually the family.
Oh yeah, dude, it's the family unit being destabilized. It couldn't possibly be the fact that they're being bullied at school, or the fact that we don't take mental health seriously enough. It couldn't possibly be any of the, obvious things that would cause somebody to become a fucking school shooter, or, the fact that, the parents didn't, lock the gun away safely. Lack of background checks when it comes to firearms, shit like that. Yeah. It couldn't possibly be any of these, like, extremely obvious things. It's actually feminism's fault.
It becomes so destabilized that you get this on a regular occurrence. Now, I don't necessarily know how much worse it can get, because I thought feminism was the worst part about this entire process, by the way.
Oh, right. Of course. It's all feminism's fault.
Romanticism originates it. Feminism only furthers it. And then afterwards, there's another part, which is the cultural norm of kick the kids out at 18. So the family unit is only just being...
How is that related to feminism? What feminists are saying, yeah, if you're a parent, you should kick your kid out when they're 18. Nobody is saying this.
Destabilized more and more and more and more. And that sort of goes to show you, I think, in this video that it's not...
He's so quiet. His volume is turned up all the way. I can't do anything.
It's not that I'm just anti-feminist. I am anti-romanticism era
because you're a fucking moron and you've failed to make a single argument for why.
Mixing the two, it clearly doesn't work in my...
Yeah, based on what? Oh,
this is a...
Oh, in your opinion, of course.
This is a no-brainer. You're not supposed to...
But it's a no-brainer, even though he has no logical justification.
Intentionally mix the two, and when you do, you have divorces that are just happening on repeat. You have
as opposed to wives being stuck in relationships with their abusive rapist husbands. Yeah, that's so much better. It's actually based in epic. If you're a woman and you're forced to marry a disgusting rapist ogre who rapes you every night, yeah, that's such a much better society to live in. Of course, that's the world this guy wants.
Men as well, because I think if you look at through a lot of history, men there, I definitely would not say all men were masculinized, because there are some very clear indicators of insecurity, of people demonstrating extreme insecurity back then.
Also, thank you, Nico Zer, for the £2 saying, not gonna lie, this dude has mad active shooter energy. Yeah, I see it.
But
I could see somebody that looks exactly like this having their fucking mugshot on the news. Okay, it would be somebody that looks like this. Garen fucking Tia.
It's just so clear that even back then, men weren't always taught to be fully masculine. They weren't really taught masculinity to its complete extent. But it was a really big part of society, I think. And
yeah, and why would that be good? Like, why should masculinity be forced upon men? What if a dude wants to be a fucking femboy and, get his fucking back cracked by a big strong man? Why can't that be the dynamic?
It's been lost.
I'm just saying.
It's been lost to time. And I made a video on what masculinity really means if you're interested. What defines
Oh
masculinity.
boy, I really love to hear what, this guy who hasn't showered for seemingly years. I wonder what he thinks about masculinity. I want to be just like him.
So yeah, that's why I'm completely anti-feminist. It's basically because history doesn't support it. Doesn't support it at all. And if you look at
yeah, what's crazy is you failed to make a single argument for this. You just keep begging the question over and over again. You stating your belief over and over doesn't make it more true, right?
Well, not only that, if you look at divorces and how long does the marriage even last in the first place? The marriage apparently...
Yeah, why are people getting divorced? Well, obviously because they have the option to. And if they're in a shitty relationship that they're stuck in, where, either it's toxic and they're treating each other like shit, or one partner is abusive towards the other, yeah, there should obviously be a way out. It's absurd to claim otherwise. If they're unhappy and it's causing problems, yeah, they should be able to get divorced. Yeah, the divorce rates used to be 0% because you would legally not be allowed to divorce people. Oh, what's that? You got forcefully married in the arranged marriage to an abusive rapist? Well, guess you're stuck with him forever.
There's a divorce spike. So this is where all the divorces usually start to occur, is around, on an average, 7.2 years. Now, you might probably wonder, why is this number important? And then why is it also important that most relationships only last 6 months to 2 years? I think this is actually really important to take away from it.
Dude, why does it matter in the context of just a relationship? Okay. Yeah, who cares? People go through multiple partners. Why does that fucking matter? Yeah, you're obviously gonna need to go through multiple partners in many cases, because it's very rare that the first person you meet is gonna be the one for you. Let's be so fucking for real.
It shows you that there is a period of time where people will feel this ludus and eros. They will feel this ludus and eros, and they will continue. And then eventually, once ludus and eros dies down, and it stops completely, the relationship usually does not succeed. It fails.
Gee golly, I can't possibly imagine why. I can't think of a single reason. But didn't you say that relationships were meant to function without it? But now you're saying that they don't function without it. So which one is it?
And by the way, people think that divorce rates are stabilizing now. I don't actually think they are. They're just a sign of because I know a lot of people who do this, they will stay married, but they will like give up on each other, like give up and just stop trying.
That's not the same thing as divorce. That's called becoming roommates. That's falling out of love and becoming roommates and not getting divorced. But like those aren't the same thing, right? Maybe they're not bothering to, you know, fix their relationship, so they act as roommates in a way while also parenting the kids. That's also a reasonable solution if they're able to do that. Yo, thank you. Praise for the additional $20, my fucking goat. Holy shit. You've donated like $60 this, or was it $40? Either way, holy shit. Yeah, $40. In one stream. God damn, thank you so much. Very generous.
Altogether. And it's because they don't want to, it's like it's related to legal reasons. So, yeah, that's, hopefully.
So because you know some people that didn't get divorced for that reason, it's like it's an important variable to consider of why it's going up? Well, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
Explains my reasoning as to why I'm...
Like, we don't determine the rate of something based on, you know, singular anecdotes. That's actually not how statistics work. You know, we don't fucking ask Joe Schmo down the street, hey, do you know anybody that, you know, has, you know, not gotten divorced technically on paper, but, you know, they're basically divorced? And then, you know, oh, well, they know somebody, so the rate must be going up. You know, that's how it works. That's definitely how math works.
Completely anti-feminist. I'm actually anti-romanticist. I believe that mixing the two is completely irresponsible. And what...
Yeah, but you already acknowledged the fact that the relationship stops working when you don't have one of those things. So what's your point?
What was done in the past when it comes to relationships.
Yeah, you know, if the past worked so well, why is it the case that relationships fall apart with the thing that they're supposedly not meant to have? When they lose the thing that they're supposedly not meant to have, why do they fall apart? You know, surely because your system would work so much better, the relationships would thrive.
Relationships should probably be done again, because clearly something is not working when it comes to this era of romanticism. There are so many people, like both men and women, who are really depressed. They have no purpose, and I think obviously religion does play a role.
So obviously arranged marriages would be the solution to you.
When it comes to giving you purpose. But I think one of the biggest things...
Yes, religion, my favorite delusion. Oh, don't worry. Your life might be fucking miserable, but, you know, if you believe in a bunch of retarded bullshit, like a magic man who walked on water and a talking snake, you get to, you know, go to heaven for eternity. But if you don't, you get to suffer infinitely for your finite actions. Yeah, really good stuff.
That gives people purpose is family. And that purpose is being lost more and more.
Right, yeah, dude, families just don't exist in the Big 26. Yo, thank you, Nico Zer, for the £2 saying arranged marriages in this economy. Apparently that's what this guy wants.
Family unit and families are being more and more destabilized. So, yeah. Hopefully you guys found the video.
But destabilized in comparison to what? How they used to be? What are you using to determine that they used to be more stable? What are we talking about? The divorce rates? Hey, by the way, did you know that before divorce was legal, the divorce rates actually used to be 0%. So obviously the marriages were very healthy and stable, you know, before then. But suddenly when divorce was legalized, the divorce rates skyrocketed. So clearly it's destroying these marriages. Like, okay, dude.
Feel interesting? If you have any comments, let me know down in the comments below. I'll probably answer all the comments to this video if you have any comments or questions or thoughts on this topic as well, because I think this is a pretty important topic to talk about. And you might say, what the hell, Blaze? Like, this doesn't fit your usual content, right? Well, I'm just going to talk about literally anything that's on my mind. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Dude, I love how one of the recommended videos is what I do in a day. 0 minutes daily sun. Yeah, that does not surprise me in the slightest. You know, just basically admitting that, yeah, I do not go outside at all, ever, under any circumstances. Okay, dude. Let's see here.
So, I thought I might as well also make...
Oh. Now, if that wasn't enough, our good friend Blaze V here made a second part to why I'm completely anti-feminist. So obviously we're going to watch that. You know, because, you know, part 1 was an absolute banger. So obviously we have to see part 2. I mean, that goes without saying.
So I thought I might as well also make a little bit of a second response because I'm quite sure I'm going to hear this argument. The second reason is to, or the second part of the video as to why I'm anti-feminist. Now,
Oh boy, I'm so excited.
when I say that, once again, people always think like, oh my god, like you must be like misogynistic or something.
I mean, considering the fact that you advocated in favor of arranged marriages and don't want women to have basic human rights, which you outright said, yeah, I think it's fair to say that you're a little bit misogynistic. Just a little bit, just a smidgen, you know?
But when you look at history, just because you're anti-feminist doesn't mean that you're anti-woman. In fact, you could actually have the opposite reaction
No, but in your case, you are explicitly anti-woman. You don't want women to have rights.
and be pro-woman and love women for not being feminist. So,
You're not pro-woman, though. You explicitly stated that you believe that women having rights is a bad thing. You think that. You stated that outright.
let me explain some of the things or common misconceptions that people believe in history that don't line up with reality. So one of these common things is, oh, back then women were regularly like beaten up and they were abused and stuff.
Yes, that's true. And they had no way of escaping.
No, they weren't.
No, they weren't. Yeah, well, while it is true that all of the evidence points in that exact direction, and would also be, a lot easier for people to do that when they have bad intentions, just believe me when I say, nuh-uh, that totally didn't happen.
Not only were they not, and I do mean this pretty much throughout a lot of history, a lot of civilizations took treating the woman very seriously.
Oh, very
into
seriously.
account. Like,
I'm sure nothing bad ever happened behind closed
there
doors.
were laws where if the man did something out of line to the woman, the man could be punished. And I explained this in...
Yeah, assuming that they believe the woman, which they never fucking did. Because women weren't seen as people.
my more detailed video.
So if anything, they would be, they would be accused of slandering the man. Right? Like, let's say, for instance, your husband rapes you, okay? And let's say you don't have proof, okay? You don't have fucking rape kits back then. In the 1700s, you didn't have rape kits, all right? What do? Okay, well, you tell people. Well, who are they going to believe? You, a woman, somebody that they view as lesser than human? Or are they going to believe the man when they say, no, I didn't do that? Because obviously they're not going to fucking admit to it. So it becomes a he said, she said situation. And while there might not be enough evidence to convict the person of being a rapist, right? If the person is getting raped, like, they should have every right to fucking, they should have a right to leave regardless, but they shouldn't have to fucking prove that this guy is a rapist. They should just be able to leave. Like, them as a victim, like, they as a victim are not obligated to collect evidence. Like, that's not their fucking responsibility. Now, if they want to get the guy arrested, then yeah, sure. But to simply, not be around him, to file a restraining order, things that are useful. Yeah.
I think it's like the pragma pill is where I explain this. Yeah, this is a complete misunderstanding. No. The second thing is a lot of religions actually were also pro-woman. A lot of them. They weren't pro-feminist, they were pro-woman. They wanted to play towards the woman's strengths, and they believed that treating the woman poorly was actually an indicator. Like, if you were to publicly humiliate or shame your wife in public, that was incredibly shameful on you as the man.
That's awesome that you were discouraged from doing bad things in public, but that doesn't address the actual argument I made, or that any reasonable person with more than 2 brain cells would make, which is, yeah, obviously all the bad shit's gonna happen in private. And then if the woman tells the authorities, who are they gonna believe, her or the man? They're obviously gonna believe the man in a sexist society like that.
It wasn't shameful on the wife. So, there's a lot of civilizations and religions that thought this.
This is recorded. I'm going to try to get my money back. Dog, I read your donations. What are we talking about? How is it pre-recorded?
Basically, the man's honor was literally tied to how he treated his woman back then. So if anybody who thinks, like, oh, no, this is, like, we can't go to what it was back then. Men treated women great back then.
Oh, yeah, it was wonderful. It was a wonderful time to be a woman when you had 0 rights and you were considered subhuman for no reason, to the benefit of nobody.
The only thing that they did was they limited certain freedoms, and
Yeah, which is bad.
rightfully so, actually.
Oh, rightfully so. It's actually based in epic when we have authoritarian states that prevent you from having basic human rights and freedom. You know, freedom is cringe and gay, actually. You know, we want the government to tell you what you're allowed to do. Because, you know, what could possibly go wrong there?
They limited certain freedoms, and rightfully so, actually. They at least attempted to limit certain freedoms. Some of them, I believe, are inevitable. They're bound to happen. Like, one of them is paternity fraud. Basically, a woman being promiscuous, or, like, not necessarily promiscuous, but basically having another man's child and that other man raising it, right? And the one main man raising it.
I don't think that that's the main concern.
I hate to say this is inevitable. This is bound to happen. And I'm sort of living proof probably as well, because I originate from that sort of a bastard child.
Yeah, we can tell. You didn't have to spell it out for us.
Kind of thing, most likely, based on my ancestry DNA test. So yeah.
I don't think we need a DNA test to be able to deduce that.
Yeah,
That's all
people,
I'm
I
gonna
don't
say.
know why, they just really believed it. Like, women were really treated badly back then. And here's like one of my really good examples is people look at like Islam today and they're like, oh my god, like they treat women so badly.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they fucking do. Obviously,
We can't go back to what it was.
Yeah, that's true. That's exactly what it was like. Yeah, you're right. It's like what they do now in the shithole third world countries, where, you know, women are forced to cover up. They're the property of their husband. That's what it's like. That's what it was like. And that's what, like, I'm sorry, but like to claim that it was any different is a fucking bullshit, retarded lie.
Just look at them, right? And this is where there's a misunderstanding of history. Islam never treated women like that in the past, actually. And you might say, what? So you're saying this isn't even Islam? No.
Bro is literally just a historical revisionist.
It's actually not. It's tribal, old tribal traditions mixed in with Islam. But this was never actually part of Islam.
Wait, old tribal traditions, where did those come from? They just magically appeared out of nowhere?
If you look at a lot of the things that Muhammad said.
I'm sure it has nothing to do with, you know, religious fundamentalism or, you know, conservatism, you know, which is a fucking disease.
Muhammad said a lot of things which were very pro-woman and very radical and revolutionary at that.
Ah, yes, my favorite defender of women, Muhammad, you know, the prophet from Islam that also raped a 9-year-old child. Yeah, very, very pro-woman. Okay.
Time. So that's another thing that I think is misunderstood. There's a lot of these things where people think that if we go back to what it used to be, then it's going to be terrible because women are going to be so mistreated. And
yeah, that's true. It's also preferable if women have the same rights as everybody else.
Men are like really misogynistic or whatever. It's like no. This is completely out of line. This doesn't line up with historical documents at all.
Well, that's just like not true.
Completely doesn't line up with historical documents.
Yeah, you're just like factually wrong about
women
that.
Were treated great back then, and I think there was a reason.
Oh yeah, dude, women were treated great back then when they were, you know, third-class citizens.
Around the time of feminism, why there was actually a lot of women who didn't want that, and that's because they lived a completely different life. They lived.
Yeah, dude, it was so awesome to not have any freedom. You know, I'm sure that's what every woman wanted.
Relaxing and peaceful life. And people always say, like,
yeah, dude, it was so peaceful having zero freedom. Yeah, of course.
Oh, we need,
like this is not far off from, you know, the kinds of arguments that people would make in favor of slavery. You know, it's like, well, it's not bad as long as the slave masters are treating their slaves okay. Okay, well, even if they were, you know, relative to other slave masters, treating them, you know, better doesn't justify slavery. It's still wrong to own another person, right? Regardless. I feel like that goes without saying. Also, thank you, Nico Zer, for the £5 saying, bro thinks he can pivot to Islam because he doesn't want to have to go over all the evil shit done to women in the Bible. Yeah, exactly.
To make men and women equal. It's like, first off, men and women have never been equal. And second, women...
well, we are now. Womp womp.
Actually have always been more valuable than men. And you might say, what? Women...
I can't turn his audio up. It's all the way up. I don't know what to do.
Have been more valuable than men throughout all of human history. This is if you can't see this, and if you haven't taken history, and if you haven't like noticed this, well, you have to actually take a lot of world history, and then you'll sort of come to that conclusion. But
right.
If you look at a lot of history,
I've taken world history. Women were not treated well in the past.
Women have always been far more valuable than men. Like just to give two examples.
Holy retarded incel
The
take.
first is who goes to war, basically who loses their life and who's treated like cannon fodder. That's right. It is ding 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 men. So
Oh, well, men die in wars, therefore it's okay to have women be second-class citizens, of course.
men automatically have that future waiting for them. That
Right, yeah, because, you know, men are all going to war in the Big 26. You know, that's a thing that's still
inevitable
happening.
future waiting for a lot of them. And the second reason is, this is a more modern reason, so hopefully I can illustrate my point of just how much more valued women are. When a ship is sinking, who goes on the life rafts first? Who's prioritized? That's right, it's woman, and children. Women and children. So
No, I don't necessarily think that's true. I don't think that's how that works. But, alright.
this is another
I would presume that it would be first come, first serve. But, like, that's most likely what would happen.
thing that, once again, it's a no-brainer. Like, throughout all of human history, women have
Maybe like, you know, they would save the children before everyone else. I do believe that.
always been more valuable. And this push towards, like, feminism to make them equal is, like, stupid. It's just, like,
Okay, but, like, why is it stupid? You failed to make a single argument.
retarded, once again. But I don't actually think the intentions behind it were retarded. I think they were quite well calculated. It probably is economic, like I said, because you have
Probably. No, it definitely is, but that's not the reason in favor of it. Like you can be in favor of people having basic human rights and not being second-class citizens or third-class citizens without making an economic argument.
two people joining the workforce instead of one person originally. So, and not only that, you also destabilize the family unit more by encouraging to teach the kid independence by kicking them out at 18. This has never been
But no, yeah, then the goal is not to kick them out. But if they want to be independent and leave at 18, they should have every right to do so.
done. Never. So, that's another thing. Just a lot of reasons. I mean, if you watch I have 4 videos, 4 main videos, I think, that explains, like, the whole relationship thing in a lot more detail. So the first one is why love and marriage should never go together. So that's the first one.
Yeah, that's fucking stupid. Yes, you should enter a loveless marriage with somebody and have kids with them and spend the rest of your life with this person you don't give a fuck about. That's really, really smart.
The second one is the pragma pill. I think
It's like, dog, if you're in a loveless marriage, okay, like, I'm sorry, but, like, you know, Tyrone is, you know, a couple doors down, okay? Tyrone is over there a couple doors down, okay? All right? And he's not looking for a loveless marriage, okay? That's all I'm gonna say.
that's a pretty obvious. It's not obvious. It's obvious to me, but that should be a pretty obvious.
Like, if I was forced to, you know, say, for instance, marry this guy, you know, I would be incentivized, you know, because it'd be such a miserable, loveless marriage. I'd be incentivized to, you know, go a couple doors down and get my back blown out by Tyrone, right?
Conclusion that you would come to after hearing that information, you would probably think the same way and go like, oh, okay, it all makes sense now, right? And there's, like, a lot of clear evidence, I mean, of families being so destabilized that it's wrecking society, and it's continued to wreck society for quite a while. I mean, it really does a number on the family, and it does a number. It boosts the economy, though. I mean, it's great for the economy. So the problem is that the destabilization of civilization is actually beneficial for the economy. So, yeah. Anyways.
Wow, crazy. It's almost like it doesn't actually destabilize society. Holy shit.
I hope you guys would find this video interesting. Let me know down below, what you think in the comments.
I'll be sure to do that. What he has like a minute. Sorry, 2 minutes left.
You disagree? Why you agree or why you disagree? I'm expecting a lot of disagreement personally. Just saying why I'm anti-feminist usually gets, like, a lot of people. Oh my god, he's terrible.
Well, it's not even that you're fucking anti-feminist. It's just like you're anti-basic human rights. That's the problem.
Misogynist, right? But no, I'm actually pro-woman.
You're so pro-woman that you don't want women to have rights. Make it make fucking
And I
sense.
just look at all of this. I try to take my view from a
I like the blue wall at the end of his room. Yeah, me too.
historical standpoint. And by the way, that doesn't mean that I'm, like, unique or
Yo, thank you so much, Batowcrafter, for the $20. You beautiful fucking bastard saying hi. Why, hello. I hope you're doing well. Very much appreciated.
special
Very
in the sense
base.
that, oh, I'm the one who came up with this idea. I deserve all the credit, right? No, this has been done throughout human history. All I'm doing, a lot of my own ideas Like, if
Oh,
you
right.
do think, let's say you think I'm really, really smart and I'm really.
Oh yeah, dude. That's what everyone thinks. Yeah, everyone thinks you're so smart and intelligent. Yes, that's the consensus
all this
here.
stuff. It's like, oh wow, his ideas are revolutionary. And it's
Oh
like,
yeah, dude.
Some of them.
Yeah,
some,
I'm sure that's what everyone thinks.
some of them are. I will say some of them are. But
Oh yeah, just some of them was. We love a humble king.
a majority of my own ideas and my own opinions, they don't come from me. They don't.
Whoa,
ever
whoa
come from me.
really? Wow.
They come from somebody else, or they come from history. So yeah, I'd probably say
Wow.
like my most controversial, like my probably two most controversial opinions that really do come from me, and this is actually through self-experimentation, is not showering and not brushing your teeth. But
Okay, I mean, I knew this guy didn't shower, but like, it's not even out of laziness. It's not even out of fucking laziness. It's like a deliberate choice with this guy. We gotta replay that. I'm sorry.
I'd probably say like my most controversial, like my probably two most controversial opinions that really do come from me, and this is actually through self-experimentation, is not showering and not brushing your teeth. But
Okay. All right. Okay, dude. I can only imagine the fucking smell.
otherwise, I mean, carnivore, like that's already been a pretty common idea, I would say, at this point, right? It's sort of a no-brainer. It's like, oh wow, who would have thought that in the 1900s, the administration to determine what food is healthy and isn't healthy was made. And oh, just around that time, there was also a lot of this huge idea of, you know what, we need to be promoting plants because we shouldn't be masturbating and stuff. So it's this really long.
What is he yapping about? Also, thank you, Nickozer, for the additional £5 since saying he sounds a little fruity. Another repressed conservative gay. Those guys are always the most anti-women because of the shame of themselves. Yeah. No, literally. Shaming him interesting? Yes, him not showering or brushing his teeth is a choice. He chooses to not do those things. It's not like he's fucking homeless. You can see he's inside. Yeah, this is obviously where he fucking lives. This is his living space, right? He can shower whenever he wants. Anyways, so as I clicked send, my internet had a seizure. Hi again, though. Hello, Batal Crafter. Very good to see you. Anyways. Bro wants to Asmongold max? Yeah, no kidding. No fucking kidding. God damn.
Like, I'm sorry, but the looks matching community.
Oh, sorry. Chat, who wants to look at some more fucking... Oh my god. Chat, who wants to look at some more looks maxing slop? Alright? We're gonna look at it from the other side, okay? The video that we're gonna take a look at today, alright, is called The Looks Maxing I can't even speak. The Looks Maxing Epidemic has gotten even worse, right? So it's actually somebody that's against it this time. So let's see, what his reasoning is.
Like, I'm sorry, but the looks matching community is one of the most insecure and sad communities I've ever seen in my
Yeah, probably, but like, please fix your audio. Jesus Christ. Does nobody know how to audio balance? Okay. Oh, copyrighted music. Okay, and there's just like a bunch of people that are like mogging him, I guess. Okay. It's just like a bunch of dead air.
So what you
Why
just
did you-
watched was a
Jesus fucking Christ, my ears. Holy shit. I have to turn that down on my end. Fuck me. Holy shit.
looks maxing or black pill edit of me because a few months ago I made a video about the cringe world of looks maxing, calling out how
Okay.
this looks maxing epidemic is pretty cringe and it's toxic because it's just making you hyper focus on these small things that you really shouldn't be worried about. No one's perfect, so why try to do all these things to be perfect? And me being right, these looks maxers decide to make an edit of me calling it cope and calling me a sub 5, saying that I'm ugly. And in that video I also
I mean, yeah, what do you expect? Yeah, that sounds about right.
called them out for making these weird edits, flexing other dudes' looks, yet they wouldn't even show their face on their account. And when I did
Okay, I mean, yeah, that's a bit strange. Sure.
that, they would claim that I was proving the black pill right. When in that video, I never said that looks don't matter. I just said that looks aren't everything. And of course, if you're gonna sit there making videos of other people's looks, I would expect you to have your face on your account, especially when you're making fun of people's looks who have birth defects. Like they make
Oh, are they doing that? Okay, here's the genuine black pill position from what I understand, okay? Because while it is easy to make fun of or whatever, I am sympathetic to a lot of it. If anything, I think that most black pillars would feel bad for somebody that has birth defects and would be like, yeah, this is like fucked up. You know, some people are just born with like a severe, you know, physical disadvantage in terms of how they look. And as a result of it, you know, they're going to get treated like shit by society, right? And they would most likely use somebody that's, you know, physically deformed as the logical conclusion to that, right? Now, do I think that that's like necessarily a good thing? I'm not saying it is, I'm not saying it isn't, but I'm guessing that that's sort of the reason behind it. You know, I'm not trying to sweep for the looks maxing community. You know, they can be very schizo. You know, there's a lot of people that are, you know, from that community that I don't like very much, but I'm just trying to, you know, keep it fair, keep it honest.
a whole edit on this one dude, basically calling him ugly and saying that it's over for him because he has a cleft lip. It's disgusting. Look, I may not be the most attractive
I don't think that it's just his cleft lip.
guy in the world, but I have many other qualities that people will like. And I promise you, this dude who has a cleft lip as well has many qualities that other people would like. Call it
Yeah, but like, it's gonna make it very difficult for him to, you know, get laid, to put it bluntly. Like, yeah, there's gonna be people that like him as a person, that are friends with him, etc., right? But it's gonna be a lot harder, and on average, you're gonna be treated worse by society. Some people won't even view you as human, right? And that's just a fact. We live in a very lookist society. And hell, I've perpetuated lookism. I can't lie. Am I going to stop? No, because I like comedy and I like to say things that are funny. So, of course, I'm going to be a little bit like that, you know? Also, thank you, White Walls, for the $25. You beautiful fucking bastard. Saying crinkle, crinkle, or waka, waka. Choose wisely. What does that mean? Elaborate. Take the autistic girl's money, you demon lol. Yo, thank you so much. W Dono 07. 07. So base.
cope, but in my honest opinion, I call it being grateful and being optimistic, which is
Okay, but why should you be grateful if your genetics are fucked? Why would I be grateful for that? If I hate my appearance, why would I be grateful for the way that I look?
what a lot of these looks maxers and black pillars lack. I'm grateful that I don't wake up every single day hating the way I look to the point where I'm smashing my skull in with the hammer. But honestly,
Okay, yeah, bone smashing is cope. Okay, in terms of looks maxing, most of that shit is cope. Okay, there's gonna be a few things that are actually good. You know, things like surgery are not cope. You know, things like Accutane are obviously not cope. Anything that's actually backed by science that actually gets you results is not gonna be cope. But things like bone smashing that are ascientific are obviously gonna be cope. You don't want to be doing that shit, right? You're just gonna fuck yourself up, right? Crinkle, crinkle, or waka, waka. Simple question. It's imperative we know the answer.
if you're a looks maxer and
I don't know, dude. Crinkle, crinkle. There you go. There's your fucking answer, dude. We've unraveled the key to the crinkleverse.
you hate my opinion on this stuff, make way more edits of me calling me chopped, all this stuff. The more you guys make, the more I'll make videos on this stuff. I will make a whole video reacting to your guys' looks maxing edits of me. Please make them. That would be hilarious. But yeah, in today's video,
This sounds like cope, because there's no way in hell you would actually make a full video, responding to looks maxing edits, really? Where it's just fucking dead air like it was in the intro? That's not good content.
we're going to talk about looks maxing once again. And later in this video, we'll actually take a look at the comments on my last video because a lot of people disagreed with me. Also, another thing, I can't lie, in that video, I did get a few things wrong. Like, I didn't know some of the terms for the certain facial bones and also just some of the looks maxing terms and scales of looks maxing / black pill. But my overall point was that this looks maxing stuff is cringe. And once again, don't get me wrong, looks do matter, but don't make it your top priority to the point where you're hitting yourself in the face with the hammer at 50.
Okay, yeah, obviously the problem with bone smashing is it doesn't fucking work. It doesn't do anything, you're wasting your time.
15 years old.
This is how to bone smash. I have my Sharpie here. See this area right here? Your cheekbones, your zygote.
Don't do this shit. If you want your face structure to be different, get fucking plastic surgery. Okay? You're wasting your time if you bone smash. What you should be doing with that time is saving up for plastic surgery if that's what you want. Right? It's going to be way more effective. It's not going to make your, face all fucked up and deformed and asymmetrical, right? So you obviously wouldn't want that, right? It'll give you precisely the results that you actually want.
Right here. I'm just going to be marking where I'm going to be doing it. In these two areas, I'm just going to start hammering at this. I'm just going to be doing a shorter version. Normally I do it 5 minutes on each side. So 10 minutes in total. I'm just going to do.
Dude, like, yeah, obviously this is retarded and a waste of time. Like, all of this shit is cope.
Yeah, you gotta brace your head.
This is a young guy hitting his face with a hammer to look better. I don't care what your stance is, but you can't tell me that this is good. As a society, this shouldn't be something that's celebrated, in my opinion.
Well, it would be good if it worked, but it doesn't work. That's the problem with it, is it's cope.
While there is some science to it, they do this because of Wolff's Law, which...
Dude, I'm sorry, but, like, no. No, I'm sorry. It's cope.
Is the principle that bones adapt their structure in the response of the mechanical stress placed on them. Some Muay Thai fighters actually do this to condition their shins. They'll kick hard metal poles to create microfractures so that when they repair, their shins just become even stronger. But again...
Yeah, but the problem is you're gonna end up with, like, a bunch of facial asymmetry and you're gonna look chopped. And you could avoid that by just getting surgery.
I don't think this is good, especially to young men. Number one, you can get...
Yeah, the problem is it's just, like, not precise enough for you to get good results. Like, you're gonna be asymmetrical and you're gonna look like this freakish monster.
Extremely hurt from doing this. Number two, you'll never be satisfied after it. You'll search for the next thing you can change. And
well, not necessarily. If it gives them the results that they want, then, like, that could be it.
number three, it's going to frame your entire worth around your appearance. And the day that you don't look good to the looks...
Well, no, you could not frame your entire worth around that, but still care about it, and that might be one of the things you do. Now, again, I would advise against bone smashing in particular, because, again, you're going to become very asymmetrical, right? It's not going to give you, precise enough features to the point where it would look good, right? It's kind of, a little bit randomized, because you're not a fucking doctor, right?
maxing standard, you're going to feel...
Like, if you want to increase your facial angularity, then, like, get fucking, what is it, buccal fat removal, get fucking implant, like, get jaw implants, get whatever the fuck it takes, okay? Don't fucking bone smash. You're gonna look like shit in comparison to just spending that time making a little bit of extra money in order to save up for surgery.
Terrible about yourself. Like, hyper-focusing on your looks is just going to drive you insane to the point where you're on these forums trying to see how to get rid of the left chin hair on your face because it's...
What a fucking terrible example. You would shave it off. You use a razor to get rid of the left chin hair. Obviously. Yo, thank you, Mr. Elgato, for the $2 saying. I bet you find one video of mine that isn't cringe. I bet.
Stands out too much. That's what these looks maxers are on. These dudes could do every single tactic and get every single surgery in the world to look attractive, and they still wouldn't be satisfied. And that's the sad part about this.
No, not necessarily. As somebody that intends on getting surgery, I'll be satisfied when I look exactly the way that I want to. Right? I have a vision. I know what I want. I know what procedures I want. And then once I get those procedures, I'll be done. Right? I'm very much so aware of what I want. Right? So I'm gonna get rhinoplasty, lip filler, maybe fat grafting to the lips. That's like another thing. I think I might genuinely just do fat grafting to the lips. Nasal tip refinement. I feel like that goes without saying, obviously, with rhinoplasty. Slight brow bone shave. I'm gonna get my jaw narrowed a bit. It's a bit wide. And I might also do orbital rim contouring. So, yeah.
A lot of young men are going down this pipeline and it's toxic. Like the guy who was bone smashing in that recent video. That guy is young. He doesn't have his age or anything in his bio, but he looks about maybe 16, 17 years old. He's not even finished with puberty yet, and he's trying to change his facial structure. That is bad. And speaking of changing your facial structure, one thing...
Yeah, I agree. You should probably wait till you're an adult. If you're gonna do that. Because obviously, like if you're still changing, then you changing it in a specific way, combined with whatever changes you naturally get, might turn out to be fucking weird looking, right?
The thing that's popular with the looks maxing community is this thing called a double jaw surgery, which is a procedure.
Yeah, that's reasonable. Yeah, like if you look at the before and after, like obviously the after is objectively better looking. Like holy shit, like you go from sub 5 to like, sometimes, 7 or 8, depending on the rest of your face.
Procedure done by doctors that repositions both the upper and lower jaws at the same time to correct severe misalignments and improve facial aesthetics. And this is something that's really only needed when you have a severe jaw misalignment, like...
Yeah, but like, what if you just want to look better? Why can't you get it then? Like, what's wrong with
a
that?
severe overbite,
Like, what is this like weird anti-plastic surgery bullshit?
or severe underbite. But these looks maxers glorify this surgery because the
Yeah, because it makes you look better. Yeah, a few inches of bone being in a slightly different position can make or break a face. Yeah, that is how that works.
befores and afters are extremely dramatic, and it changes your bone structure and your side profile. And
Yeah, that's the fucking point, yeah.
from doing this as a looks maxer, you can go from low on the scale to pretty high on the scale.
Yeah, that's obviously why people do it. So like, what's your argument against it? Right? I understand your argument against bone smashing, because it's fucking stupid, and not actually backed by science, you know, enough for it to be reasonable to do that instead of cosmetic surgery, right? But if we're talking about cosmetic surgery, like, what's your argument against it? It's backed by science, you know what you're gonna get, right?
A double jaw surgery / Bimax would genuinely change my life. And the crazy
I don't know if that kid needs
part
it.
is, this isn't even a bad looking dude. I promise you, he's probably pulling a bunch of girls, right? But he's so hyper focused
You don't know that.
on getting this double jaw surgery because he
Also, why does it have to be to pull girls? Like, what if somebody just wants to look good and wants to feel better about their appearance, right? And the best way for them to do that is to remove their insecurities with plastic surgery.
went down the looks maxing pipeline when in reality he doesn't need this double jaw surgery. I mean, look at the dude. He thinks that this double jaw surgery is going to make him look perfect when in reality
No, the goal isn't perfection, because obviously you're never going to reach perfection. The goal is to look as good as possible.
if he were to get this, he'd look for the next thing to get and the next thing to get, and he'll never be satisfied after that. And he's also
Again, you don't know that. This is just like an assumption.
acting like this thing can't go wrong. I mean, there's plenty of botched surgeries out there.
Yeah, obviously you need to get to, you know, you have to make sure you're going to a good surgeon, right? You're going to want to save up extra to make sure you're getting the best of the best. I feel like that goes without saying.
I don't know, y'all may disagree with this, but I'm just not a fan of these surgeries unless they're really needed. Getting these surgeries in the hopes of going up on the looks maxing scale is just pretty stupid. This dude
No, it's not on the basis of the looks maxing scale, right? The looks maxing scale is just something like a general point of reference that people use in order to say, like, okay, like, you know, generally speaking, according to societal standards, how attractive am I? What can I do to improve my facial harmony? Shit like that. That's what it's gonna be.
dude doesn't need surgery, he just needs character. He needs self-confidence. And I can see he already
Yeah, dude, because confidence will totally, you know, fix my fucked up bone structure. Right, of course.
has confidence, you know? But just be confident.
Like, I mean, I went through male puberty, right? I don't want to look male. So obviously, you know, the goal is get facial feminization surgery, right? In a way, that is like a, you know, that's a cosmetic procedure at the end of the day, right? Now, it's one that's necessary for my mental health, right? But I don't think you need to have gender dysphoria for that to be the case necessarily. Right? You don't have to be a trans person like me in order to need that. Like, there are going to be some people where it's like, yeah, they would feel more like themselves if they just got a few procedures, and that's fine. Let people look the way they want to. Like, why are we regressing as a society and being like, yeah, we're against that? Now, to expect it of people, to expect people to go out of their way to do that when they might not care, now that's a little bit different, right? If you don't care, right? Let's say you're like average or slightly above or below average, and you know, you don't really give a shit. You know, that's also fine. Like, people shouldn't be ridiculed for that or for not being attractive enough, right? But if somebody wants to be more attractive, fucking more power to them. There's nothing wrong with that.
Enough in yourself that you don't need that double jaw surgery to pull even more girls. Maybe become funnier. Maybe build more character. Building that
Yeah, start jester maxing.
character starts after you realize that no one in this world is perfect. So why try to strive for perfection? In my
No, the goal would be to be as good as possible. Like, again, having a good personality and looking good are things that can require effort, and they're not mutually exclusive.
opinion, you don't need all these extreme procedures done yourself. Groom yourself properly, have good hygiene, hit the gym, eat well, build good character, and that
Yeah, notice how none of those things change your bone structure? So if you're like me and you have like a very, you know, masculine looking bone structure and you want it to go away, you know, none of these things would fix that.
it's really all you need.
None of these things would make my male skull look any less male. You know, only surgery can do that.
You don't need these extreme surgeries or dangerous tactics to pull women, bruh. And the whole reason I really wanted to revisit this looks maxing topic is because it's gotten even more popular since my last video. People are considering it mainstream now because recently
Yeah, I'd say it's fairly mainstream. I wouldn't consider myself a part of the looks maxing community. A lot of those people hate me. I'm definitely not going to be as extreme as a lot of the people. It's actually, funnily enough, it seems to be the case that like 2025 cells you know, hate me more than like, you know, the OGs. The OGs actually kind of fuck with me, even though I'm a 2026 cell. And the reason for that is because, you know, I understand that like most of the shit is cope, right? I'm not somebody that just sees like what seems like an easy solution and immediately believes it because I'm not retarded. And I'm like, yeah, like if you're not even willing to get surgery, why are you in this community? Like, I guess maybe if you're like soft maxing, but like even then it's like, you know, do you really need to be, you know, like analyzing facial proportions if you're not even gonna get fucking surgery? Like, no, of course not. It's retarded.
There's been an influencer popping off by the name of Clavicular, who's a 19-year-old, who's apparently the looks maxing god to these losers. And he's super dedicated to looks maxing to the point where it's taken over his whole life. Like, this guy's a teenager still, but his whole world is looks maxing. All he cares about is mogging, which, if you're unfamiliar with the term, it basically means to outshine.
Yeah. In case you're, you know, 75 years old and have never heard the term mog before.
Whoever's next to you. Let's say me and you take a picture and I look better than you. That means
let's make the scenario a little bit more realistic, my friend. Okay, that was mean, I'm sorry.
that I mogged you. And that's this dude's goal in life, to look better than other people and to get compliments from other people from looking better.
Yeah, what's wrong with wanting that? What's wrong with wanting
The
compliments?
goal is to mog, okay? I just want to mog. I don't give a about getting girls. I don't give a about that shit. I want to mog people, right? I want to walk into a room and people are like,
Look, Clavicular is insane and mentally ill, but like, I don't blame him for this. Like, yeah, it's like, I mean, that's
Holy
fair.
holy shit, look at this guy.
Like, this is just sad. Maybe it's because when he was like super young, he just wasn't seen enough, so he feels that if he does all this stuff, he's gonna be more seen. It's just
Well, clearly it fucking worked because he's famous now. So yeah, he is more seen.
sad, and you can see that this dude is insecure. And what makes me think this is a lack of
I mean, yeah, he is the insecurity final boss. I don't dispute that, but like, obviously what he did worked on some level in terms of being seen. So
attention even more is because, I mean, there was this clip I saw of him while doing the research of this, where he was bone smashing in front of his parents, and they were telling this man to go away.
At that point in time, institutions sit down in the morning with their portfolio managers and their analysts and say, oh, they were going to make six.
I'm not gonna lie, his parents are correct right there, bruh. I'd disown my son if he was bone smashing. This guy is the insecure final boss. He's
why wouldn't you just like talk to him about it and be like, hey, by the way, like, this isn't gonna get the results you think it will. Here's how it can actually be like, you know, get fucked up, and you know, here's like examples of like people with really asymmetrical faces as a result of bone smashing, right? It'd be, if you want to look different, just get fucking plastic surgery when you're older, okay? I'll fucking cover that shit out of pocket if you want, okay? If you have the money for it, of course.
so insecure that he can't even pick up a slice of pizza.
You know, if I were to have kids, you know, I would have enough money for that. I'd be like, you know, go off if you want some fucking plastic surgery. But I'd have to make sure that, like, they know exactly what they want. And that they'd have to, like, know it for multiple years for, like, me to be like, yeah, okay. All right, I'll get that for you. And they'd obviously have to be an adult. Dude, why is it fucking silent? What? Hello?
Smashing. This
Oh, I guess copyrighted audio. Oh, he's picking up a pizza slice. Dude, how do you give up picking up a pizza slice? Yeah,
dude isn't even a bad looking dude. No matter how much looks maxing this guy does, he could be the best looking person in the entire world. Yet you can tell he's still insecure.
I mean, no, I think I mean, he's not the best looking person in the world. Like, he's, yeah, a lot higher than average. But, like, yeah, obviously he wants to, you know, go beyond that. Which, I mean, considering the fact that it's his whole gimmick, yeah, that makes sense. That's like what he got famous off of.
And that is sad. He'll never be secure with himself. And I can't lie, Clav definitely, like, you can
I mean, in Clav's case, yeah, probably. But it's not because he's a looks smasher.
he's improved his looks from when he started to now. But you could also attribute that to
Yeah, I mean, he went through puberty.
Because, I mean, the dude, I think he started when he was, like, maybe 16, 17.
Yeah, that's why I don't, you know, appreciate when people are like, oh, but, like, Clav, you know, he ascended. And it's like, no, he had good genetics, okay? He had good genetics. You know, he's tall. He has good face genetics. It had nothing to do with, you know, any of the fucking looks maxing shit for the most part. Right? Maybe it had like a little bit to do, but most of it is genetics. Let's be so fucking for real. Right?
Years old, somewhere around there, and now he's 19. And since Clav just wants to mog everyone to reach this goal of being at his best, he's doing everything possible, like wearing makeup, getting surgeries, taking
what's wrong with that?
steroids, and even doing
I mean, yeah, if you're taking like TRT or whatever, if you're taking like a little bit of test, right? If you're taking a reasonable amount, I think that's fine if you want to do that. You'll age faster. I wouldn't recommend it.
doing
like,
math, but switch that A with the knee.
Wait, is it?
You mean meth? You're on YouTube, not TikTok. You can say meth. Jesus fuck.
Sure you do math. Somebody told me you do math too.
I do math, yes. So I do
Obviously, clavicular is insane. Nobody disagrees with that.
math to, you know, basically suppress
He gives the looks maxing community a very bad rep.
my appetite and try to get leaner. It's really not as bad as people
I will say though, the clips of him are fucking hilarious.
And how do you take it?
think. Intranasally,
I'm sorry, what is that?
like up your nose.
This dude is snorting math to suppress
Yeah, no
his
shit.
appetite. This is disgusting.
Yeah, Adderall maxing is obviously the better solution.
Man. There's something in me that wants to say that this dude is trolling, but I highly doubt that considering that he also used to
He might be. I don't know. He does troll quite a bit. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes because he's like, he is genuinely kind of insane, but like, there's also some shit where it's like, okay, he's like obviously trolling. He says like obviously a shit post.
hit himself in the face with
Like there was some shit in like Turkey Tom. Like I saw Turkey Tom's video and I was like, are you sure this guy isn't trolling? Like, you know, he like made up like clavicular, you know, made up a story about how like, you know, one time he went to the fucking bathroom, and he went to the stall, and then in the stall next to him was, you know, Tyrone. You know, there was a black guy, and while clavicular was peeing a weak, pathetic stream, you know, he got completely piss mogged by, you know, the fire hydrant of a penis that the black guy had. You know, it's like, yeah, it's obviously fucking like made up for shits and giggles. Like, fucking come on. Like, that shit's obvious. You know, whether or not he does meth, you know, I could believe him doing meth. I could see him doing that shit.
hard objects. I'm not surprised.
Gotta be troll. Yeah, obviously. But Turkey Tom is fucking stupid. He takes it seriously because he's somehow more fucking autistic than I am.
Why he thinks this is just something that's okay to do.
I think men should wear makeup because it's the best way to conceal different flaws in your face without
Yeah, I agree with that. Wait, this is actually a really base take. I do think that more men should wear makeup. And I don't think it should be stigmatized the way it is. I don't think that it should be like a, oh, you're gay because you wear makeup. First of all, being gay shouldn't be perceived as like wrong or a bad thing in the first place. But secondly, it shouldn't even be perceived as explicitly gay because everyone wants to look better, right? Like, doesn't everyone want to look good?
actually addressing the underlying issues. A lot of men are super against using makeup, and I don't know why. It's just about not getting caught. If you could use makeup and no one knows, then there's no reason why you shouldn't. What kinds of makeup do you wear? Using a microbrow pencil to fill in any gaps and grow, great way to make them look a little bit more full, a bit more striking. Anyone could have perfect eyebrows.
Yeah, that's fucking real as shit. Why would you show this clip? Like, he looks actually kind of reasonable there. Like, yeah, if you show the clip of him being like, yeah, I love doing meth for losing weight. Like, yeah, obviously he looks insane. But in the clip you just showed, like, what is there to fucking criticize?
Biggest issue with this. It's all about hiding your flaws instead of embracing them. Like, no.
Dog, women wear makeup all the time. What are we talking about? Oh, but now suddenly when the men does it, when men do it, it's because they're insecure and they hate themselves, and it's because you know they look in the mirror every day and they want to kill themselves because of how they look, so they put makeup on. It's like, yeah, or maybe people just want to look better. You know, for the same reasons that women want to look better and wear makeup. Yeah, men also, might have the same desire. Sometimes. I'm just saying.
Nobody is perfect, and they're striving so hard to become perfect when being perfect just isn't real. It's just not real.
Nobody is claiming that they're going to become perfect. Like, nobody's goal is like, yes, I'm going to become literally perfect one day. Not even the insane looks maxers like Clav are saying shit like that. Not even Clav, not even fucking, what's his face, androgenic, any of the insane people that are like deranged and embarrassing. Even they're not saying that shit.
To embrace the fact that you have flaws is to be secure with yourself. And none of these dudes.
Yeah, but like, what if you don't want them? What if you acknowledge that you have them and you decide, well, there's something I can do to get rid of them, so I'm gonna do that. Yo, thank you, Nick Ozer, for the £2 saying I wear makeup because I'm 36 and I want to look it. Yeah, and that's perfectly reasonable.
Care about being secure with themselves. All they care about are the compliments from others because they don't feel like they're enough in this world, and that's why they're never satisfied.
Or maybe they just like compliments
with how they look. I think more people just gotta accept the fact that, hey, people have flaws, man.
Yeah, just accept being like an ugly, disgusting piece of shit. That's like, significantly below average. When you could easily ascend to being significantly above average and getting attention from society. Right? Things that you desire.
No one's perfect. I accepted
not to mention pretty privilege.
The fact that I have a big forehead. I mean, I could go out and get surgery, maybe get a hairline surgery or whatever to make it look better, but I'm happy with how I look. Obviously.
Yeah, and good for you. You can be happy with how you look, right? But somebody else who has a big forehead might not be happy with it. And if they want to get, forehead reduction surgery, if they want to get hairline advancement surgery, let's say, right, to reduce the size of their forehead, in order to maximize facial harmony. Like, why should that be, frowned upon? Like, why would we frown upon somebody doing something that makes them feel better about themselves, that makes their life better? Not only does it make them more secure in themselves, but they're also going to be treated better in society. Pretty privilege is a real thing. People are treated better when they look better. And that's just a fact. Ugly people get treated like shit. People get treated differently based on how they look. Do you think I get treated the same as I did before I transitioned? No, I get treated very differently. Now, part of that is also on the basis of gender. But that's not all there is to it. Right?
There's room for improvement, but I'm not going to go out of my way to get some sort of surgery to make my forehead smaller. This forehead is a staple, dog. This isn't going anywhere.
Are you spending $100,000
Yeah, and you are entitled to that as well. Nobody's saying you have to get surgery.
on surgery to go from 6'2" to 6'6"?
That is more about presence. You walk into a room, people notice, right? Because people will come up to me, they'll say, oh, well,
I mean, this guy has fuck you money, so like, I mean, I don't see why he wouldn't, since it's like his whole thing.
6'2", that's already very tall. But in terms of percentiles,
Pretty sure he's actually just 6 feet, but
it's only
I'm pretty sure he fudges his height a little
91st percentile, right? 6'6", we get to 99th. I'm someone who wants to be the best, right? And I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get there. The unfortunate part about limb lengthening surgery is almost no one is going to be able to do it because you're going to have to be out of work for 6 months to a year. You're going to be hospitalized for the first 3 weeks. You're pretty much immobile for the first 3 months. The next 3 months after that, you're really not going to be able to walk without crutches and stuff like that.
Like, I don't see how this clip makes him look bad. Like, there are plenty of clips where Clav looks fucking horrible. Like, he looks like, fucking retarded. This isn't one of them. He's like, yeah, like, for most people, like, this isn't going to be a realistic solution. For me, because I have fuck you money, and because, I just, this is, like, my thing. This is my fucking niche, right? Like, yeah, of course he's going to do it. Of course he's going to do every looks-maxing technique on the face of the earth. Because he wants to make himself known as the looks-maxing guy. That's his brand. He is the looks-maxing guy. So anything related to looks-maxing that he can do, he will do. That's his brand.
So getting away from work for that long is just not possible by most people, and not to mention the outrageous prices. So it's a very treacherous process. It's very painful. You have to be under close supervision with doctors, and you really have to gauge the value. Is this something that's worth it to you? Because it's a horrible process, and there's no beating around the bush on that.
Doing all the
Yeah, it's like, it would be one thing if he was like, yeah, if you're like, under 6 feet or, under, such and such height, you should get leg lengthening surgery. But like, he's explaining like, yeah, here's all the reasons you wouldn't want to do it. Like, does that not come across as reasonable?
It's just for...
Look, I'm not trying to sweep for him, but it's like these arguments against him are fucking terrible. So it's like I have no choice.
people to be like, hey, that guy's tall. Insecure final boss. This dude is extremely insecure, and I just feel bad, bro. Sure, being tall is a plus.
I don't think he's yeah, he's a little bit insecure about his height, because he does fudge the numbers a little bit by a couple inches, but
I don't think being tall is everything. There's no point in
I don't even think that he said that.
Getting height lengthening surgery, because I promise you, the moment you have kids, and let's say you're a short man, look, I'm 5'7". Imagine if I got height lengthening surgery, I went to like 6'2", and my kids grow up to be like 5'3" or 4.
Yeah, you would obviously tell your partners that. Yeah, that's obvious. Like what? Like if you change something about your appearance, you would obviously, if you're gonna have biological children with a partner, you would obviously tell them that. Here's the shit that I got done. They're not gonna look like me. Here's what I used to look like. Here's what my height used to be. Right? That's perfectly reasonable.
Or I'd be like, dang, man, that's rough. They're gonna be like, Dad, why am I not as tall as you? Man, you gotta get your bread up and get that height lengthening surgery. Sure, most women care about height, but I don't think it's to the extent that people make it to be online.
Again, I don't think he's doing it for women.
Some people think that if you're not tall, then you're cooked. When in reality, that's just not true. Maturing is realizing if you're shorter than 6 feet, it's over for you. I feel like that's not mature.
Like it's not a shit post.
I think that's more of you dematuring if you're thinking that.
No, it's a fucking shit post, dude. Why are you taking this seriously? He's like obviously trolling.
Under 6 feet means that you're cooked. If anything, I think your brain.
Yeah, he's obviously trolling. He doesn't actually believe that. Nobody thinks that.
Is cooked for thinking that you have to be over 6 feet or.
Nobody thinks this.
You're cooked in society. There's many great people in the world who are short, man. Being tall, yeah, it's a plus, but it's not everything, brother. Back to Clav, though. Since he was popping off and losers attract losers, he decided to go on the Fresh and Fit podcast, and he decided to rate women because that's something that.
Okay, this ought to be good. Okay, you're probably gonna have a
lot of these looks maxers love to do. They like rating people.
I'm going to give you a 4 out of 10. I'm definitely.
Wait. Do you want him to say like why?
Bro, why can't it like zoom in closer to the person he's talking about so we can actually like analyze their facial measurements. I want to see if I agree with Clav's.
Why you give the rating and how they get approved? Yeah,
It's like they're so fucking far away, I can't even see. I don't even know which one he's rating.
you give up, say why they, so she got 3.5. Why and how can she improve?
Well, her mid face is way too long. Obviously, she's got the jowls coming in, horrible nasolabial folds. You know, horrible.
Bro, I see the long mid face. Just like long face in general. I can't see anything else. Just like too far.
Total facial width to height ratio. Just really bad age indicators, but obviously at 30, that's not something really that's going to surprise me. Her upper maxilla is super recessed, horrible infraorbital.
This is so autistic.
That's why your under eyes are coming in like hell. Really recessed chin. You know, all the facial convexities are wrong. Her radix is recessed. You know, moving on.
I don't know what a radix is.
Okay, well, how much time do we have on the podcast?
This dude,
Or did he say Ramus?
I'm not gonna lie, this dude Clav would be an amazing doctor. And I say that because this dude has a lot of knowledge when it comes to this stuff. I'm not gonna discredit him at all. He knows all the facial bones. He knows all this stuff, right?
He learned it from fucking look like the looksmaxing website. Is it looksmaxing.org? He learned it from the org.
But I feel like he's just using this stuff for the wrong reasons. I hate to say it, but this looks maxing stuff is just going to be the new red pill. Like, y'all remember how back in 2021, 2020, and like 2022, 2023?
It's not the same thing.
They're all...
I mean, it's the same. Like, it's similar in terms of, like, yeah, it's like a fad that's, like, eventually going to be, like, it's going to die out and, like, you know, people are going to focus on some other shit. But, like, you know, like, it's not the same. I feel like, look, I wouldn't consider myself, you know... I agree with some aspects of the black pill, okay? Like, for instance, I do think that, you know, looks do matter in terms of how you're treated in society. I do think if you're ugly, yeah, you're generally going to get treated a lot worse in society, right? That's just how it is, right? A lot of people will just ignore that. They'll just be like, well, just, you know, focus on your personality. And it's like, yeah, but, like, if you look like a fucking hideous monster, nobody's going to care how good your personality is because they're not going to want to fuck you, right? And people will just, like, ignore that, right? Now, some people, obviously, a lot of the people in these communities, you know, take it way too extreme, right? But there's some shit in there where it's like, okay, yeah, that's like kind of true, right? I'd say the black pill is a lot more reasonable than the red pill, right?
Those red pill alpha males that were coming up saying all this stuff about women. The new red pill is just this looks maxing stuff, and it's going to get even more annoying by the year. And it's also going to get extremely
I'll take looks maxing over red pill.
Dangerous. That red pill stuff got dangerous, but I feel like this looks maxing.
Like, looks maxing is just optimizing how good you look. Red pill is like a fucking retarded ideology.
Stuff is going to get even more dangerous. There's going to be little kids hitting their...
Like, it's like a retarded biological essentialist, fucking, like, sex essentialist, dog shit ideology. Like, yeah, women are this way, men are this way. Fucking bullshit. That's what the red pill is. Obviously, there's more to it than that. You know, it's also focused on, you know, things like status maxing. You need to be masculine and fucking, you know, 6 feet and rich in order to attract a good a woman. You know, what color is your Bugatti? Right? But Andrew Tate is fucking ugly as shit, right? You know, he gets made fun of in the looks maxing community because of how much of a hideous, disgusting creature he is.
Face with hammers because they're not attractive enough. When they're like 8 years old, they shouldn't be worried about this. Another person,
Bro, I'm sorry, but like, are 8-year-olds doing this? Yeah, maybe there's some, and yeah, obviously they shouldn't be. But at that point, it's like if they're 8, their parents should be monitoring what they're doing on the internet. Why are you letting your 8-year-old child just fucking roam free? That's the parents' fault.
I've decided to rate is the streamer Marlon, which I'm pretty sure we all know who Marlon is, but if you don't, he's this streamer who is also a model, and no homo, but he's a pretty good looking dude, you know? And this is what Clav had to say about him, because, you know, he's a looks maxer and he follows this looks maxing scale to the T.
What would you rate Marlon on a scale from 1 to 10?
I would rate Marlon.
Okay, so let's see. Nose is slightly too big. Let's see. I can't do facial thirds because his hat is covering, you know, his forehead. Teeth are good. That's not really relevant. I can't really measure his chin to philtrum ratio either because he's smiling. Trying to see. I'd give him like, you know, roughly Chad light. Yeah. Probably Chad like. I'm not really noticing any major flaws other than like, I think he has a hook nose based on what I'm seeing here. So that obviously is going to deduct a little bit. His eyes are good. He has a very good eye area. His eyebrows are a little bit too high set for a male. So I'm guessing that would deduct points on the PSL scale. Me personally, I don't give a shit about that. I don't think it makes you less attractive, but it's like my personal opinion. But yeah, that would definitely deduct points on the PSL scale. So I'm guessing that's what Clav is going to talk about. He might also talk about. I'm guessing his face is like a little bit long. I don't know. It's hard to tell with the hat. His face might be too long. But probably not. I don't know. Anything else? Yeah, I don't know. He's probably some other minor nitpicks.
Between a 7.5 and an 8 out of 10. So I'd put him right around Chad. Extremely good looking, very mager. So I'd rate him.
Yeah, so like, okay, he rated him higher than me.
Chad.
What's his like main negative?
His main.
Or yeah, I guess Chad wouldn't be the highest. True Adam would be the highest. I think, yeah, Chad is fair.
Negative is his.
Yeah, I know, because Chad Light would be 7. And Chad would be 8. I think I had it mixed up, because I was thinking Chad was 9 and Chad Light was 8. And that, like, True Adam was 10. But I think I had it mixed up.
Mandibular growth, right? So he's got a bit of a recessed mandible. You look at.
I did not notice
some of the
that.
clips of him in motion.
I don't think I'd be able to tell based on, his front
From the side profile. His shin is slightly recessed. Obviously we're being hypercritical just for the objective rating. I think he's better looking than me before anyone goes crazy. But it's just like if we're being hyper analytical, that like these small things take him down a little bit in terms of his points.
He's pointing out all these things that really just don't matter, bruh.
Yeah, but like if you're objectively rating somebody, they do matter. Like in terms of like an objective analysis, right? I agree that they don't matter in terms of like, broader appeal. Like shit doesn't fucking matter. But like, appeal maxing is going to be way more important than like PSL scale maxing. But like,
just look at Marlon, bro. He's a good looking dude. Pause on that. No homo. So why even hyper analyze this stuff? But yeah, like I said, this dude Clav.
Because it's fun. I don't know.
He could become a doctor. He's very knowledgeable when it comes to this stuff. I just feel like he's.
He would not be able to. No, memorizing a bunch of shit from looks maxing forums. Memorizing a bunch of technical terminology that you can Google. It's not enough to be a fucking doctor. You retard.
Using it for the wrong.
If only your brain was as big as your fucking forehead. Jesus Christ.
Reasons, man. Now, Clav, since he's also popping off, he's been streaming a lot with people like Aiden Ross, Cuffham, and Neon. The three.
Some of the most insufferable people.
Three horsemen of cancer streaming. Neon.
React to your chat, it's Loki Fire. And then you say this is lame at ASF. Okay, dude.
Neon's been a bit better now, but Aiden and Cuffham are pretty bad. And now Clav, he's here and he's the 4th cancer. He's been streaming a lot and acting all edgy, trying to be cool by saying things like the N-word live because, hey,
it's really funny, yes.
Hey,
indeed.
Nobody can cancel me. I'm a Chad. When it's just corny. Because I know he wouldn't say
I agree. It's
this to any other black person to their face. He only says it because the King Rigby, the raccoon, Cuffham, allows him to.
It gets like overwhelming.
Be bro, you think like hella girls are gonna approach me like as like they wanna fuck with me? Like you saw me in person. And be bro, we're close now. You can be honest. Be real.
Fuck no.
And in one of Clav's streams, he was actually giving his girlfriend, who's 17, these fat dissolving face shots.
Okay, to be fair, 2-year age gap, he was 19. Who cares?
I hear you got the plug for those fresh faces. Hit me up, nigga.
Now, granted, I don't think it's a good idea to like, inject that into anybody if you're not a doctor. But like, fucking 2-year age difference. Who cares?
Dude, I can already see the clips. Clav injects meth on
Chat, we're looks maxing her. It's all.
It's like, I don't understand why these are the main points of criticism when there's so much better stuff to criticize Clav for. Like he's, he's like mentally ill, he's retarded. He has dog shit political takes. There's like plenty of things to make fun of him for. He looked like a fucking buffoon on stream, fucking arguing with his girlfriend, right? There's plenty of stuff to make fun of him for, right? Like this shit, this shit is nothing. Like, we're really moral fagging over this. Okay. Right.
I know people are gonna fry me for this, which I don't know why. This is an ice cold take. This shouldn't be a hot take in today's day and age. I think everyone should agree with this, but I don't think a 17-year-old should be taking these fat dissolving injections to the face out of a random syringe. Hot take. I may get canceled for that, but I don't think that should be.
Okay, but it doesn't have anything to do with like, because again, the 2-year age gap. It's like the age doesn't matter in that context because it's fucking 2 years apart. Who cares?
happening. People are gonna be calling me crazy for saying that, but this is just weird. And I think the weirdest part is that this guy's audience is so young, so they're gonna take this into account and they're gonna think that this is something that's okay. They're doing this just like it's something normal when this is dangerous and you shouldn't be doing this. Watching looks max
Yeah, that's
Maxers
fair.
convince little kids they're ugly. They haven't even gone through puberty yet, and they're being told it's over for them. Looks maxing is literally a ploy for companies to make money by destroying men's mental health.
No, I think it's more so a ploy by content creators to get clout because it's like an easy way to get clout because it's popular right now. I really don't think it's that deep. I would also say that in terms of like, you know, I mean maybe if you're talking about like the Discord servers, I agree with that. Like I've been in some looks maxing servers, and I agree. I think that like if you're, you know, like if you're a kid, you should be banned from that shit. Like I don't think you should be allowed in if you're just like some kid. You haven't even gone through puberty and like you're asking for fucking, you know, advice on what's the best way to bone smash? Like no, get the fuck out. Like no. I don't think that should be allowed. I got I'm not, like I don't know. I just like at any time I would see some shit like that, like it just like make me very very uneasy. Like okay, this person does not belong here. Like they need to go fucking finish their algebra homework. Like Jesus Christ.
Highly agree with that. Like I said, looks do matter, but there's other things you can focus on other than just looks. These companies are trying to sell you a solution to a problem that
Ah yes, the clavicular company.
just doesn't exist. The reason this stuff is so pushed is because they want you to be insecure about a small thing.
Who is they? I guess like if we're talking about like I mean, does clavicular count as a company? Like you could say like, yeah, these fucking grifters are like trying to make you insecure so that you buy their fucking products and sign up for their online courses. I think that'd be a reasonable argument, and I'd agree with that. But it's not companies that are doing it. It's individual people that want to make a quick buck, right? So you would criticize, you know, clavicular, for instance, being like, yeah, he just, you know, wants to make people insecure so that he can, you know, make money off of them. Right? And I think that's a fair criticism.
So you could buy the cure when that small thing really doesn't matter at all. When the real cure, if we're being honest, is just self-love. And this
is just cope maxing. The self-love won't, you know, magically fix my bone structure.
looks maxing stuff is also destroying women because you got women out here taking X-Acto knives, trying to make little cuts within their eyes.
Yeah, that's retarded. If you want your eyes to be more, you know, slanted, I guess, or like positively canthal tilted, you know, there's like fox eye surgery for that. You don't DIY surgery.
To get up on that scale. This stuff is just disgusting. But like I said, my last
I mean, she mogs me.
looks maxing video got
Now, clearly she's doing something right.
a lot of comments.
I'm just kidding. She's probably just born that way.
So why not respond to some of those within this video? Of course, it's a sub 5. So if I was attractive, would you take what I'm saying into account, or would you just say that, of course, it's an attractive person saying?
Yeah, no, you're right about that. I don't think that whether or not you're, you know, attractive or ugly or mediocre looking, like I don't think any of that matters in terms of like, you know, the validity of your arguments.
This. I wonder. I can smell the edits coming for you. Please make more edits of me. I'd laugh at every single one of them.
This is cool.
I'm gonna laugh because there's gonna be many looks maxers out there that pay for all these surgeries and they're not gonna be satisfied. I'm gonna be over here looking just normal and be satisfied with how I look. Please make more.
Yeah, I don't know. This comes across as kind of pathetic and insecure as well. Like trying too hard to like, be like, yeah, I totally don't care. I think it's really funny when, you know, these people make edits where they brutally mog me. I think it's actually really funny. But thank God I look normal. Like, okay, dude. Like, if you just said nothing, then I'd be like, okay, yeah, fair. But like, I don't know. He might be, you know, almost as insecure as the people he's making fun of.
More edits of me, because I promise 10 years from now, we're gonna bring this clip up and we're gonna talk about this exact same thing. And y'all are gonna see that I'm happy, but these looks maxers aren't. Of course, it's a sub 5 incel that's making a video about looks maxing. Definitely just a sub 5 incel, man. This video is just normie cope. They'll see the less sane side of looks maxing and write off the entire movement.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm seeing here, right? And the reason I'm defending looks maxing isn't because I think it's for like, it's not going to be for everybody. Like, not everyone's going to benefit from it. A lot of people are going to, you know, be harmed by it mentally, right? You have to be somebody like me that can just sort of go through that and, like, trudge through the bullshit and, like, figure out, like, what's actually useful. Right? And, like, I now am, like, you know, contacting people, telling them or like asking them for like advice on like, like what surgery should I get specifically, and they're like creating like morph edits of me of like, okay, like here's like, approximately what you would look like if you got these specific surgeries, right? Because they're a lot more knowledgeable than me, and they do this for free. Like this is something they do in their free time, right? Which is going to be a lot better than anything, clavicular will ever sell you, right? I'd rather just like have like a genuine autist that actually knows about this shit. That's like doing it for the love of the game, right? And it's like easy to tell if they're bullshitting or not, for me at least. Yo, thank you, Vaxodesh, for the 5, saying, how do you say your channel name? Femyoz. It's pronounced Femyoz. But yeah. Anyways, let's continue.
Actually, when I think about it, it's a good thing normies don't wake up to it, because that means less people improving themselves, thus less competition. Once
No, I don't think it's good or bad. I think it's just at the end of the day, like, kind of neutral. I think it has its pros and cons. I think that, like, if people want to improve themselves, if people want to look better, and that's something they care about, I think that there should be avenues, right? I think that the issue with looks maxing is, like, it's a very, like, unofficial, and for the longest time, it was a niche, like, a very niche avenue, right? And it only recently became accessible, and that's why you're gonna see, like, a lot of bullshit, right? Because people are trying to sell you stuff, including bullshit, because, bullshit is very easy to sell to a lot of people who want, quick, easy, fast solutions that will just, require, little to no effort, right? That's what these people will sell you. It's shit that barely requires effort, but it'll require money, right? You have to be able to go through that. But if there was like a more, official, like, I don't know, like if it was, real fucking doctors that were like, yeah, if you want to look smacks, here's like the best way to do it. Like if it was like, professionals, right? Like for instance, take mewing, for example. Mewing is actually a good thing, but the way that a lot of people mew, the way that like a lot of these look smaxers do it, it's actually harmful. And the reason why is it's going to depend on how, like, okay, like you don't want to like, apply a lot of force. You want it to be like something that like you could do all day without really noticing, right? So like if you look at, say for instance, what Dr. Mew, the guy that literally the guy that invented the concept of mewing, right? Like he came up with that concept. If you compare what he has to say on the matter versus what a lot of these fucking, scam artists will say, right? It's very different, right? Because these scam artists don't know what the fuck they're doing. They don't know what they're talking about. They don't actually care to look into this. All they need to do is come up with shit that sounds convincing to an audience so that they buy your shit. Right? That's all they care about. Right? And I think there need to be more, actual doctors, actual medical professionals that are, helping people in these sort of spaces, making content, for the masses, being like, yeah, here's like the best way to do it, for anybody that's interested. Right? I actually do think it should be more accessible.
Again, in that video, I mean, I said that there's nothing wrong with trying to maximize the way you look. But I think it becomes a huge problem when you're doing all these crazy surgeries and extreme things to
Why is that a problem?
achieve that look. I just don't
Why though? Like if you achieve the look you want, why is that bad?
think that's good. Call it normie cope, but hey, man.
Yeah, it literally is. Like you're just like anti-cosmetic surgery because it's what you're told to believe. It's because you watch these fucking documentaries about, oh, and then there was this really insecure 13-year-old girl, and then she got plastic surgery and regretted it. Well, fucking boo-hoo. I'm sorry that you had a sad sob story, but like, I want to look better, and I know what it takes to not get botched, so I'm gonna go do that. It's like, okay, yeah, like obviously if you're younger, like you shouldn't be getting plastic surgery. I feel like that goes without saying. Because then your shit's not done developing, and you're potentially gonna look really weird, after the fact. Anyways.
And I just think it's pretty stupid. You ugly. With a capital ugly. What do you mean I'm ugly? I'm like the second coming of Marlon, dog. I get it, but calling looks maxers cringe is like bullying a kid because he can't make friends. Bro, what are you talking about? I don't think that's anywhere near what that is. And yeah,
yeah,
this stuff is cringe. It is very cringe. If you
I mean, a lot of it, yeah, but like some of it's like kind of useful. I can't lie. Like, I don't know. Like, a lot of these people have like helped me like figure out like, you know, what surgeries are gonna be beneficial for me, right? Like, there have been instances where it's like, no, actually, this would like, you know, um, and like obviously different people are gonna say like slightly different things. So I sort of just I'm like, okay, like what's the consensus? Right? I figure out what the consensus is, compare it to like what I think would look good with me, right? And I sort of make an evaluation based on that, right? And as a result of that, and because you know there's people that are really good at like, you know, showing like, okay, here's what you'd look like with, you know, X, Y, and Z surgeries, like, because they understand how the shit works. You know, it's like, okay, like the this is, you know, the result I would want. Like this is kind of what I'm looking for, right? Um, so I don't know. I just think that like, you know, it's kind of dumb to, you know, you shit on the entire community when, you know, some of these people have actually been like, you know, super chill and super helpful, and like, you know, it's like I don't know. I just don't like the concept of shitting on a whole community because like, oh, there's some like fucking bad actors, when I think it's, you know, overall, you know, a very positive thing to want to improve yourself. Anyways.
You don't see that it's cringe, then you're a part of the problem. You look terrible, dude. Well, I mean, I look terrible to your scale, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there that maybe might think I'm attractive. So why does the way that you think that I look matter if there's other people out there that maybe think that I'm attractive? Who
Yeah, I don't think that like how this guy looks is particularly relevant to this discourse.
cares? Look at your chin, hair, eyebrows, brother. Oh man, you may mog me when it comes to my chin, my hair, my eyebrows, and everything, man, but at the end of the day, those are things that I can't really control. One thing I
Well, you can. What do you mean you can't control your eyebrows? Yes, you fucking can. You can reshape them with eyebrow razors and tweezers and fill them in with makeup. That is a thing you can do. That's literally a soft max. Anyone can do that. You can take minoxidil for more, you know, eyebrow and hair growth. That's also a thing you can do. And for your eyelashes. Right? That's another soft max. Like I don't know why these people are so anti looks maxing. You know, as if we're all the same as fucking clavicular. It's like, no, like a lot of us are very reasonable. Like, yeah, some of us aren't like insane fucking psychos, believe it or not. Yeah, we just want to look better.
can't control though is the amount of money that goes into my bank account each month, which you probably can as well. And let's just say I mog you, brother. I don't mean to be that guy, but I definitely mog you, brother, when it comes to that. I also mog you when it comes to just self-love, man. I mog your self-love, dude.
I think the most loving thing you can do for yourself is improve yourself. That's real self-love.
Sub 5 got triggered. See, look.
Yeah, I mean, comments like that are cringe. I don't think it has anything to do with him being sub 5. Or if it does, I don't see how that's relevant to any of the arguments being...
I may have gotten triggered a little bit, but would you say that you got triggered as well for commenting that? It's over for bro. Heartbreak emoji. I mean, if it's over for me because I love myself, then what does that mean for you? Is it over for you if you can't afford these certain surgeries that you want to get to look better? And if you...
For some people, yeah, genuinely, that's like the dark and twisted reality of it is, yeah, some people are fucked based on their appearance. Like, you don't get it. Because you're like an average dude, right?
Get those surgeries.
Like, I wouldn't say you're attractive or have any, like, attractive features, but, like, you're not really ugly. Like, you have, like, a few flaws. But you're just kind of mid, right? So you're not going to be discriminated against it as much as somebody that's, you know, significantly below average, right? Like, if somebody is a sub 3, they're going to be treated like fucking shit, right? Like, let's be real.
Surgeries, then you'll still be unhappy. Is it really over for me or is it just more over for you? Like, let me know. This video proves exactly Black Pill's point and also how our society has felt past years and how much our IQs have felt. If you see a Black Pill edit with sad music, saw disabled people, and you think they are making fun of them, this shows how stupid you are.
Wait, yes, this is the point that I made. And I didn't even know the context, and I was pretty sure that's what that was, based on what Black Pill ideology actually states. Now, granted, there's gonna be some people that are hypocrites, but, like, if we're talking about, you know, Black pillars, you know, people that are like, yeah, society is unfair because some people are born ugly, right? And they're finding the most extreme versions of that, where it's like, yeah, this person, you know, probably gets treated like fucking shit because of how they look. right? It's not meant to be funny. It's meant to be sad. The point is to empathize with the person who looks like that because they have no control over it. Like, the point is actually to increase empathy. Like, yes, there's going to be a lot of black pillars who are like weird anti-women fucking incels. Like, yeah, there's a lot of that. Don't get me wrong. I've seen a lot of that shit. Once you get past like the really annoying, loud, vocal, I wouldn't say vocal minority. It's a substantial portion, I won't lie. Once you get past those people, it's like there's a lot of genuinely like chill and legitimately empathetic people that are like, yeah, like, you know, shit's rough. You know, some people are, you know, kind of unlucky and like I feel bad for them. And I think that that's reasonable, and I think that more people should think that way. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
Of course, most of these methods of looks maxing are copes, but also this is how dumb most of you are. Nad, in the same time you ask for a face reveal. Never mind, Grays. I had a complete stroke trying to read that. That isn't me proving black pill right. That's just me saying that if you're gonna make fun of somebody else's looks, why not show your face? And these black pillars were making fun of people with birth defects. If you think that
no, based on the video, it didn't seem like they were making fun. It seemed like they were sympathizing with them and being like, yeah, like, some people have to live with this shit. And like, raising awareness to the fact that, like, yeah, lookism is, like, a real thing. And they won't call it lookism because it sounds woke, right? A lot of them won't call it lookism because it sounds woke. I call it that because that's what it is. Thank you, Mr. Elgato, for the 2 saying, remember the bet, Femi? What? Anyways, look, I think it's just to point out, like, yeah, like, we live in a lookist society where, like, being ugly means you get treated like shit, right? Like, would you want to look like that person? If not, why? Why would you be utterly horrified at the idea of looking like that? Well, because you know the implications. You understand on sub-level the implications of looking deformed. You understand that society would not view you the same way ever, and that you would be treated worse because of it. Right? That's why, say, for instance, acid attacks are some of the scariest fucking things. Is because of that. That's one of the reasons. Right? Aside from the fact that, like, obviously, yeah, it's gonna be painful. Like, it's gonna leave you, like, physically deformed. And people will feel bad for you, but people aren't going to be attracted to you, right? And, like, it's, you know, you will, you know, at best get sympathy and, you know, at worst be bullied for it. You know? I don't agree with that take, Femi. I feel like my take is correct, though. Like, I don't know where I'm wrong. Like, how am I wrong about that? Like, do people not get treated differently based on how they look? Like, are we gonna really, you know, sit here and cope and pretend like everyone gets treated equally? Like, that's not the society we live in. You know, how you look, you know, whether it be, you know, how you look in terms of your gender, you know, your ethnicity, skin color, even your fashion. If all of those things on some level determine how you're treated in society, your age, I mean, all of these factors in terms of how you look influence the way that society treats you. Why would attractiveness be any different? How can you say that? Look, it sucks, but, like, it's true. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm not gonna fucking sugarcoat it. Society's gonna treat you worse if you're ugly. I know plenty of ugly bitches that are at the top of society. Look at Elon, Zuck, Bezos, etc. Yeah, so all of the people you just listed are ugly rich people. Right? Like, yeah, if you're rich, obviously you're gonna have power. Money equals power. And I'm of the belief that wealth inequality is the worst form of inequality. That's the one that has the most power disparity. Right? That's the one that has the most power disparity, is wealth. I would argue that's the one that matters the most in today's society. It's the most relevant. However, I would also say that, like, you know, that doesn't negate any of the other forms of discrimination that people face. right? Now, obviously, money is going to be, the ultimate deciding factor as to how much power you have in society. But power and social influence aren't necessarily one-to-one. I mean, they go hand in hand, but, it's not going to be entirely one-to-one, right? Okay, fellow comrade, haha. No, I'm actually a market socialist, so you're not that far off. Favorite salad dressing? I hate salad dressing. Anyways.
That's something that's okay, then you're just an idiot. You're a disgusting human being. And I like how this guy is trying to talk about IQs when this guy's IQ is so low that he can't even understand my point. I think this video is wrong and just points on the worst parts of looks maxing, but being honest, this generation needs it. This generation does not need this extreme looks maxing.
I think that, like, okay, to claim that everyone needs it would be wrong, but, like, yeah, I think some people could benefit from it. I think need is a bit of a strong word. I think some people need it, not solely based on how they look, but, like, based on what will benefit them in, like, a mental sense. No, I think it's also harmful for some people, but, like, again, it depends on the person.
All they need to know is to have good hygiene, groom yourself properly, be a good person, build good character, have a routine, and boom, you're good.
Oh, and that will magically demasculinize my male bone structure. How exactly? Like, none of this is a practical solution. Right? For the same way, keep in mind, me being clocky means I won't get treated as good in society as if I passed perfectly. Because I look male, I get treated worse. That's a fact. If I was a beautiful gigapassoid, I would be treated better. Now, granted, I don't think I have it the worst. I think I'm probably treated better than most trans people. Part of that is because I live in a more privileged area. And part of it is because, I've cultivated a community of people that support me, right? So I have a community to back me up, right? So because of the people I surround myself with, yeah, I'm going to be treated better than most trans people, right? But, even so, like, I would face a lot less discrimination if I, just looked like a cis woman and was a Giga Stacy. If I was a Giga Stacy or True Eve, then I would be treated better, and that's just like a fact. I'd also get more money, right? So more people would donate, because oftentimes people donate because they're attracted to me, right? They see something they like, they donate. Hoo-ha, the whole world works, right? They like supporting someone that they find attractive, right? And there are going to be more people that do that if I'm more attractive. So for me, there's also a return on investment when it comes to surgery. I legit cry about my shit. I'm black and trans. I've been told crazy shit. Yeah, exactly. And a lot of that is going to be based on how you look as well. Right? A part of it is going to be based on your identity. Part of it is going to be based on your race. Part of that is also going to be based on how you look. Because they are using physical characteristics to determine how they categorize you. Right? So, well, it's not true to say that looks are everything. They are a lot. And I think this guy is downplaying it. And because he's downplaying it, I don't think he fully understands how people make determinations on who to discriminate against and who to treat poorly and who not to. I don't think he's there yet. But racism is kind of a part of that. Well, yeah, a lot of racism just boils down to looking at someone, seeing that they look different, and treating them like shit because of that. Right? That's what it boils down to. Racism is the most common and commonly extreme form of lookism. One that's caused a lot of harm. Right? Now, it goes beyond just lookism. It's its own thing, right? But it has many elements of lookism ingrained, right? And people make assumptions based on what somebody looks like, which is a form of prejudice. But you could even just boil it down to attractiveness. If you get treated differently based on how attractive you are, in a way, is that not prejudice against ugly people?
You don't need all this other stuff. Of course, a Yakub looking sub 5 cause looks backs and cringe. When your fourth wife divorces you for Chad, maybe then you will swallow the BP. That is so cringe. Oh my god.
I mean, yeah.
Gosh, that was the cringiest comment I have ever seen. This guy is definitely 3 years old. He's definitely 3. I'm gonna cut him some slack though, because maybe his frontal lobe hasn't fully developed. By judging them for not showing their faces in their vids, demeaning them as ugly for not doing so, and bundling them as cringe for that and joking about it, you're basically proving their point that looks are everything. You're literally reducing them to their
To be fair, I don't even see what his first
appearance
video
and
was.
judging based on that. That's literally their point that people do that like you do. You're literally proving their own point right there. Once again, I'm not proving their point. I'm just saying that if you're going to make fun of other people's looks, you should at least show what you look like first. Holy jaw
I mean, yeah, I agree with that.
asymmetry. Average sub 5.
Yeah,
I've triggered.
Most of these comments are
Over for you, sub 5. Lamau, bro. Lamau. That's like the only response that these looks backsters have. They'll just be like, oh, you're a sub 5. And that's it.
No, I feel like my responses were a lot more reasonable than that because, like, I'm a grown adult and I can actually make arguments.
Then they just go into their room and cry because
It's like, yeah, obviously, you know, like, random 12-year-olds in the YouTube comments are not going to make a coherent argument. Why would you expect that?
they weren't born a certain way. Notice how the only people who criticize looks max and all are chopped as F.
Yeah, it's just, like, not true. I've seen chopped people cover it. I've seen average people. I've seen fairly attractive people cover it. And I don't really think it's relevant. People are covering it as YouTubers because it's trendy and because they want to talk about it, right? Because it's what other people are talking about. Just look at views.
Ha ha ha. It's so insane how they're right about society in general. Next time, if you feel insecure, fam, don't make a video about kids. Kids like literally teens. It's crazy when you're a grown ass man. Holy shit. I think the thing is, I'm making videos about this so people don't fall down that pipeline and become extremely insecure. It's crazy that you don't see that you're insecure, yet you're calling me insecure for making a video about it. I think you guys are more insecure than anyone on this entire planet because you guys are getting all these surgeries and still being unhappy after you get these surgeries. So who
are we talking about? I mean, yeah, maybe some people.
is really insecure? It's like if they were sitting here judging how much money other people were.
Femyoz has that. Oh shit, dude, you must have been gone for a long time. We broke up like a year ago. Anyways, long story. Thank you, Nicozer, for the additional £5 saying, as a femme attracted person, I don't personally think you're that clocky. I fuck with how you look, but I don't have to live in your body. So you do, you get what you want, girl. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. And I appreciate that. Like, understanding that, like, at the end of the day, I'm not doing, you know, I'm not going to do surgery for society, right? I'm doing it for me because it's what I want. And it's something that I would benefit from personally. Like, yeah, there are going to be people that are attracted to me. Hell, they might even be, you know, less attracted to me after I get the surgery. But on average, I'll be more attractive. And I'll look the way that I want to. So the same way that, you know, before I transitioned, before I did HRT, you know, there was some number of straight women that were attracted to me. Guess what? When I transitioned, they stopped being attracted to me. Why? Because I looked too feminine, but that's okay. I became attractive to new people, right? So some people that are attracted to my more, you know, sort of clocky features might find me less attractive after I get surgery to, you know, eliminate the clocky features. But at the end of the day, that's, I mean, oh, you win some, you lose some. You know? I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
Were making each month, yet they weren't talking about how much they made each month. Obviously, I'm going to ask that question, how much do you make each month, to feel like you can judge other people on how much they make each month. And if you can't understand that, then once again, you are just an idiot. Of course,
I think the best argument to make would be like, you know, if these people are like black pillars and they're calling you sub 5, like, they clearly, you know, engage in lookism, you know, the thing that they're, you know, supposed to be against. But, you know, like, if they're not responding to it and they're just like calling you that. But I don't know, that's the argument I would make. Like, why does it matter if I'm sub 5 or not? Like, yeah, like, if it's the case that, you know, that the black pill is true, then, like, you know, surely you wouldn't want to, you know, discriminate against me based on immutable characteristics, right? I think that'd be reasonable.
Of course you look like that, Lamau. Yeah, of course I do look like that. I look like a great guy. Your forehead is the world. That is actually a funny comment. I can't lie. That's actually really funny. In conclusion, love yourself and accept your imperfections. Look, no one is perfect in this world, so never
Yeah, but like, what if I just want to look different? Like, why can't I just do
try
that?
to strive for perfection.
Like, if there's like a reasonable way for me to do that, why not?
The moment you get over that hill where you can accept your imperfections is the moment you really start living. Once again,
Yeah, well, no thanks.
I think looks matter, but there's other things you can focus on other than just looks.
You're understating the extent to which looks matters.
These companies are literally just trying to sell you a solution to.
Dude, what companies are we talking about? Yeah, there's gonna be individual scam artists. It's not big fucking companies in this case. There's going to be, I'm sure. I'm sure there will be in the future, but like right now, it's just like, you know, like fucking content creators selling their shitty online courses for looks maxing.
A problem that doesn't exist. They want you to be insecure about.
Mind you, there's no reason to buy that. You know, for anybody that's looking into looks maxing, do not buy anything from these people. You're not going to get anything. You'd be better off just going into some, you know, looks maxing Discord servers, trudging through the slop, you know, ignoring all the, you know, bad dog shit, cope maxing advice, right? And find like, you know, the people that are like chill and like really autistic about it, that like actually know what they're talking about, and just talk to those people, right? That's what I've done.
About a small thing so you could buy that cure when the real cure is self-love. But yeah, all that being said, this is gonna wrap up the video.
And self-love doesn't fix my
Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Twitch WAK, Twitter WAK, Instagram WAK, Discord link in the.
Accepting your flaws doesn't mean not doing something against them. Yeah, I suppose, but in this guy's case, that is what he would believe is like, no, don't do surgery. Like he's arguing against it. So, well, I agree. Like in theory with what you're saying. Like, yeah, obviously that wouldn't necessarily mean that. I'm just going based on his logic.
Description. If you guys enjoyed this video, then I highly recommend you guys check out my most recent video. It'll be right up here on the screen. All that being said, thank you guys for watching.
The Michael Jackson lookalike went way too far. What the fuck? It's crazy. Gender reveal meltdown epidemic. Yeah, that shit looks dumb as shit. Why would somebody give a fuck? Apparently their other video is the cringe world of looks maxing. Okay. So their other video is the cringe world of looks maxing. Let's see.
I'm convinced that there is nothing more cringe.
Alright. Alright, let's find out. I'm bored. Let's figure this out. Let's see. What is he yapping about?
I'm convinced that there is nothing more cringe and insane than the looks maxing community. What?
I could name a few things. 1, your editing style. 2, the red pill community. 3, transphobic people. 4, racist people. Yeah, I feel like there's like quite a few things.
You're about to watch is an edit of a guy who was born with a cleft lip, essentially just opening up about life and being vulnerable with his audience. And a looks maxer decided to take a clip out of that video and make an edit out of him in an attempt to call him ugly with this collage of men that he finds attractive.
I have to remind myself this is part of my life. And that's just not how my luck is.
I mean, yeah, it's just like an edit about like, yeah, like it's like life is unfair, and that's like kind of the point. It's like meant to be sad. It's like this guy realistically can never look like any of the people in the edit, right? And he's gonna be treated worse on that basis. That's what the edit is about. That's like obviously the connotation. You are meant to feel bad for the guy in the first video. You are meant to understand that this is fundamentally unfair.
Now, I honestly apologize that your guys' eyes had to see that. I'm not talking about the guy. I'm talking about this edit. I mean, it's one of the most cringe things I've ever seen. What's so wild to me is...
I mean, maybe, but like, I feel like it's making it like a good point. I feel like the underlying point that it's making is good, though. Like, the point isn't that they mog him or whatever. That's obviously not the point that they're making. The point that they're making is like, yeah, this shit's fucking unfair. Like, if anything, they're making it closer to being from the perspective of the first guy. You know? Like, that's how, you know, a lot of these people are gonna feel when they see, like, all these fucking people that mog them. Right? I mean, hell, the person that made the edit could have looked something like the first guy. And, you know, at the end of the day, like, I don't know. My natural instinct is to empathize with the first guy, and I think that's the point. I think it's meant to, you know, emphasize the fact that, like, yeah, like, this shit is, like, you know, the level to which this is unfair is, like, fucking crazy, right? Like, here's all these men that are gonna get treated good by society. Here's this person that just, like, you know, got fucked through no fault of his own, and he can't do anything about it. I don't think there's anything funny about that, and I don't think it's meant to be funny. So, I don't know what point this guy is trying to make.
Is that the caption of this video says brutal
Yeah, like, obviously all edits are gonna be cringe. It's kind of the fucking point.
mid-face insult
I mean, yeah.
the guy. Yeah, I promise you, if you look
Okay, I guess the caption is yeah, kind of fucked up.
closely through this edit, you couldn't find one picture of the guy who made this edit, and that's because the guy is probably insecure himself. Funny enough, this guy's whole page is dedicated to him making edits of other men that he finds attractive, yet in all of those edits,
I mean, yeah, it's probably just some
that man is nowhere to be found. I find it so
It's probably like some like 12-year-old.
crazy that his name is Keep Coping Boyo. It says most brutal black pill edits, don't get mad at me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yet he's taking
Maybe I read too much into it. It could just be like a 12-year-old rage baiting. That's like also a possibility. Or like maybe the goal is to be like, yeah, look at this fucking deformed guy getting mogged. But that's not how I read it in the first time, because my immediate instinct was just like feel bad for them. And I just like associated like, okay, like, yeah, like, isn't the point of the BP to feel bad for ugly people? Oh. What the oh, I was accidentally recording to my computer. Oops. Oh, I ran out of storage, so I just got a notification on my fucking thing. Anyways, I didn't even realize that. I must have accidentally hit record at some point. Anyway.
a bunch of other men and putting them into edits to call other people ugly. That is the most cringe thing I have ever seen. Like, I'm sorry, but the looks maxing community.
Oh shit. Yo. Okay, here I gotta delete whatever the fuck. Give me a sec. Yeah, 80 kilobytes free. Yeah, that's not good. Let me just like delete this fucking probably massive ass file. Holy shit. Okay, oh shit, yeah. Yeah, let me get rid of that. Fucking hell. Okay. There we go. Storage back. Lovely. Now we can continue. Sorry about that.
Community is one of the most insecure and sad communities I've ever seen in my life. And
I feel like that's kind of the point.
we're gonna go more into that, but let me address the elephant in the room real quick. Number one, I know y'all see this entirely new setup, and that is because I have
I really did not care.
Unfortunately, moving process. Thank you all for
don't care
nowadays, and like I will say, the root of looks maxing makes sense. I mean, the whole idea of looks maxing, I feel like is a pretty good idea. Maximizing your looks, I think that's a great idea. Let me say, there is nothing wrong with trying to better yourself, whether that's grooming yourself properly, going to the gym, having a skincare routine, eating the
but heaven forbid somebody gets
right foods, all that good stuff. I myself do all these things. But
yeah, but oh no, heaven forbid somebody get surgery to, you know, accomplish a, you know, an even better outcome.
But what I want to focus on more in this video is the extreme looks maxers. And these are the people who are so deep into looks maxing that there is no return. The people who think that all
I don't think the problem is that they're deep into it. I think the problem is when either A, they believe in pseudoscience, or B, they're being cringe and annoying about it. That's where the issue is. Or C, they're like trying to force it onto other people. You know, like it's like, yeah, no, maybe don't go to like random people on the streets, you know, calling them fucking, you know, low tier Beckies or fucking subhuman. Like maybe don't do that.
That matters in life is looks, and that's pretty much it. And while I do agree, your looks can open more doors than if you didn't have the looks, let's be real here. The difference between flirting and harassment nowadays can sometimes boil down to how you look. I mean,
okay, he acknowledges
imagine
this.
if you're a guy who looks a
I'm surprised he acknowledges this, but fair. Oops. I'm very smart.
A lot like Kelly Oubre, and you walk up to a girl, start complimenting her, start flirting with her, then ask for her number. She'd probably be very flattered. Then imagine if you were a busted, chopped, hideous, unpleasant
I'm glad you included Leafy's
creature doing that exact same thing. You'd probably get called a creep, unfortunately. So it makes
I mean, yeah, that's kind of the whole basis of the black pill movement.
sense on why we as people care so much about our looks. But at the same time, I do think it's pretty insane to stare into a mirror every day and hyperanalyze every single pore on your skin. And also,
No, it's not hyper-analyzing pores, it's finding solutions that fix your flaws. So that you don't come across as, like, the disgusting, creepy monster when you ask somebody out. That's the fucking point.
doing all these weird methods to change your facial structure, like thumb pulling. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what
Yeah, thumb pulling is, like, a load of bullshit. Yeah, obviously that shit doesn't work. You're stupid if you think it does. Sorry, I'm really tired. I gotta turn up that. Gotta turn up my mic, because I'm, like, too sleepy to enunciate.
what thumb pulling is, I have a tutorial actually right here for you that looks like it was made by what looks like a
Like, why are you showing, like, the fucking, like, Cope Max and shit?
16-year-old.
A lot of you have been asking for a thumb pulling tutorial. Here is a full guide on thumb pulling to achieve more forward growth like I did. I want you to put your
Yeah, no, that's called going through puberty and getting more forward growth that way. It's not anything to do with thumb pulling.
body against a wall. Roll your shoulders back and put your chin to your neck. Next, I want you to put your thumbs on your palate. Push up and out with your thumbs and resist with tucking your chin. You should hold this position for 30 seconds and repeat 5 times or more each day.
Did this man have to have the deep voice filter on this? Could he not just have narrated this video himself? Maybe
Pretty sure it's AI.
I'm just nitpicking. But I'm gonna be completely honest. When you look at the before and after of this guy thumb
Yeah, it's at a different angle, and like also he's young. He's like still going through puberty, so yeah, he's gonna get more forward growth anyway, no matter what. So
pulling, it looks like nothing changed. Actually, no, the lighting was the one change. That's all.
the angle, retard. The angle is the biggest change. It's a different fucking angle. He's like obviously frauding in the second pick.
But other than that, he looks the exact same. And I find it so insane that the guy who created this video is so young, yet he cares so much about having this insanely sharp jawline.
Yeah, he obviously cares about his appearance for like the reason you stated earlier in the video. Yeah, if you're like a disgusting, chopped, hideous monster and you ask somebody out, you're going to be perceived as weird and creepy. If you're Giga Chad and you do the same thing, then you come across as confident and based and epic, right? There's also going to be some gray area in between. That's like where I would fall. I'm somewhere in the middle.
So dedicated to this that he's quite literally shoving his thumbs into his mouth and pushing his back against the wall and tricking his brain into thinking that there's some sort of change when really there isn't. The only change there was the lighting and the angle. That's pretty much it. Like, it's very sad. And here's another video of somebody who thumb pulls and they track their 30-day results.
I mean, yeah, obviously this looks goofy as fuck. Yeah, notice how they never do it at the same fucking angle? It's fucking retards.
And
like, it's literally just a different, you're just angle frauding.
The crazy part is that from day 1 to day 30, there's no change at all.
Yeah, because, yeah, thumb pulling is cope. And, like, anyone that's, like, actually knowledgeable and looks maxing community is and isn't just some fucking 2025 cell knows that it's cope. Right? I know it's cope as a 2026 cell, but that's just because I'm not retarded. Yo, thank you, Nicozer, for the additional £2 saying, instructions unclear, I bit off my thumbs. Yeah. Yeah, true.
Except for the lighting and angle. It's like these guys are doing nothing and they're tricking themselves into believing that they did something. He quite literally just put on a shirt and looked away from the camera rather than looking into the camera. Like,
yeah, or they're trying to get views.
What is this guy even on about? I see no difference at all. And if you hit your face,
yeah, bone smashing is also
facial bones with hard
I'm pretty sure that like it doesn't do nothing, but like it doesn't work the way that a lot of people think. Like, yeah, you're gonna get some like bone fractures and growth, but it's gonna be like horrifically uneven and it's gonna look weird, or it's just not gonna be enough to really make a difference.
Objects like a phone or a hammer.
Like if you're trying to change your bone structure, you need surgery for that shit.
In the hopes of,
or like take growth hormone. Take growth hormone if you want it to grow.
Changing the shape to have this more chiseled look. And y'all may think I'm joking, but I am being dead serious. There are people out there hitting themselves in the face with hammers in an attempt to become more attractive. Like, this has to be considered some sort of mental illness. During the research
Yeah, that's probably
of this
true.
video, I actually found a guy on TikTok who apparently has been bone smashing for 29 days straight. And he has all these bruises on his face.
Yeah, he looks
And
wonderful.
to top it all off, the man is using a rusty hammer. Like, you couldn't find a clean hammer anywhere. Like, you just had to hit yourself with the rusty,
I'm pretty sure that's sad. I don't think that's real. It's like obviously bait.
dusty, dirty hammer that you found in.
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry, but like I feel like it's more likely to be the case that this guy just like put on makeup to make himself look all bruised and shit. He put on some fucking makeup. Right. And he found a rusty ass looking fucking hammer to fucking hit himself with. As like a
The
meme.
garage, that is disgusting. And the fact that the hammer is touching this man's face is even
I don't know, maybe it's real. Maybe he's like genuinely extremely mentally ill. Usually when I see shit like that, I just like assume it's rage.
more
bait.
disgusting. I know it carries hella germs. And it's sad because this dude looks really young as well. He looks like he's in high school. And I feel like it opens up this conversation on if this extreme looks maxing is really about bettering yourself. I'm sorry, but you're not
No, I think some of it is rage. bait.
bettering yourself if you're hitting yourself in the face with a hammer to the point
I mean, like in theory, like if it were to like work properly, then like yeah, it's like there's I wouldn't understand being against it, but I sort of agree with them just because like you know it doesn't seem to garner results.
where you're leaving bruises on your face. That's more on the lines of self-hate than self-love. This guy is quite literally
Well, no, you can do things that hurt for self-love, right? Like working out, for instance. You know, you might hate the feeling. I hate the feeling of working out. I need to do it more. But when I do it, it's not because I hate myself, even though I hate working out, because it feels bad. I do it because it makes me stronger. Actually, no, that's a lie. I do it because I want to look better.
harming himself. This is self-harm. But YouTube, this is AI because I don't want to get this video taken down or demonetized or any of that.
I mean, I don't know.
I think someone who loves themselves would accept how they look and own it rather than hitting themselves in the face with
But like, if you can change how you look and you don't like it, then like, why would you just like accept it and do nothing? It's fucking stupid.
a hammer repeatedly to change
Like, I don't like the way I look, so I'm gonna get plastic surgery. Like, is that not reasonable? I feel like more people should do
their
that.
facial structure to get this Minecraft Steve look. I quite
And yeah, that guy looks fucking
literally
ridiculous.
saw another guy while doing the research of this video trying to become more pale, and this man called it the vampire method. What's crazy is by the end of this whole vampire method, this man looks sick, and I don't mean he looks sick in like the oh you look sick in a cool way. No,
I'm sorry, looking pale does not make you
he
look
genuinely
sick.
looks sick. Then you got all these people in the comment section saying, teach me, teach me, teach me. It is so cringe. Yet at the same time, I find it so sad. Like, why don't you teach yourself how to get a job instead of spamming in the comment section of this guy's videos asking,
Okay, to be fair, telling people to get a job when you're a fucking YouTuber is kind of cringe. Like, you yap into a microphone for a living. Be so for real.
how you can get more pale. These looks maxers quite literally hate themselves so much to the point that they can't even fathom being comfortable in their own skin. They want to
Yeah, never change anything about yourself. You should be comfortable just the way you are. You know, no matter how, you know, horrible your bone structure is. No matter how fucking recessed your chin is and how massive your nose is. You know, just accept it. Never change anything. Even though your life would be better if you did.
change the color of their skin like it's a Call of Duty camo. And the crazy part is, that's not even the end of these looks maxing methods, because these
The real reason to vampire max, for the record, is because UV rays are damaging to your skin and you don't want to age.
methods just keep getting goofier and goofier. There is a method out there called the towel method where dudes bite towels in order to get more prominent jawbones. Here's actually a video of a guy doing
I mean, yeah, most of the shit is coke.
a few of these methods. So he starts off with the towel method. As you can see, this guy kind of looks like XXX Tentacion, and he's also hitting
Again, he's going over all the cope methods instead of like, I don't know, like surgery, you know, the stuff that actually works. Yeah, these are all cope methods. Like, nobody's gonna give a fuck about this in a year. Like, nobody takes this shit serious. It's just like all fucking jester maxing people. Like, you know, if you want to look better, just get
a
fucking
light-skinned
surgery,
dog
dude.
face. I don't know why, but you know, we'll just keep on going. As you can see,
Yeah, work an average job and be happy with your mid-capitalist oppressed life. Yeah, true. Or never do anything to change yourself for the better. Hopefully, you know, beat the system.
he's biting the towel. I don't know why he just winked at us, but hey man, say man. And then this is apparently called the
For the record, I don't actually believe you can beat the system, but I think that like it is possible to like, you know, thrive in it sometimes if you're lucky.
ice method, where he takes the ice and ices his jawline, and then he does this weird thing with his mouth. I don't know what that was, but okay. As you can see,
What does the ice do?
just keeps on rubbing his jawline, getting a little bit of the lips, and then he starts rubbing his eye.
You're gonna give yourself rub burns.
And
doing
this
all
is to get
shit.
siren eyes, and you can see this man has the enhancements of doom. Then he does this inner eye pulling, and then I guess this is the end of it. This is the end result. And then he just does this weird, I don't know why he's making this face right there. This man looks like Flapjack trying to bust out a laugh. I find these methods so stupid because I feel like half this stuff,
Yeah, because like if you don't do surgery, you're probably not gonna get many results. Yeah.
nobody truly cares about. Like, this man is rubbing his inner eyes and icing the corner of his eye.
Well, the problem isn't that people don't care about it. The problem is it doesn't work. It doesn't do anything.
Do we really need to do that? Is this really necessary?
No, the reason it's not necessary is because it doesn't do anything. You're just like wasting your time.
And is it
You're
really-
just like jester maxing at that point?
Really gonna make that much of a change? Like, let's
I'm too tired for this shit. I'm like barely
just
awake.
be completely real here. Exactly. Here's another looks maxer. I guess this guy has been looks maxing for 54 days straight.
Okay, looks maxing day 54. So finally I bought
Oh, he has a very long neck.
Derma roller to use on my cooked hairline. Took it और मैंने थोड़ा सा pressure apply करके अपने right as well as left hairline में इसको use किया. Then I used zygo pushing to get opposite cheekbone.
Dude, why are you doing all that? Just take fucking finasteride, dude. What are we doing?
What the hell is zygo pushing? You're pushing your face in. This isn't gonna do anything. Like, maybe I'm just
Yeah,
hating. Maybe I'm just the biggest hater on.
No, in this case, you're right, because you're like looking at all like the weird like trendy stuff that's like fucking stupid, like all the fucking. I mean, at the end of the day, like this is like the norm slop section of the looks maxing community. Like people that are actually like in the community that are like in the chords, you know, all of them like see this shit and they're like, yeah, these people are retarded. They're doing it for views. They don't actually know anything about, you know, how to look better
this planet. Which, hey, if I am, so be it. But I feel like this is just so pointless. Nobody cares about your zygos or whatever. Half the population doesn't even know what zygos are. Like,
Yeah, but you're gonna subconsciously notice small facial features, right? So like, you might not know what your upper maxilla is, right? But like, if you have a recessed upper maxilla, right, that's gonna affect the way that your face looks and therefore affect how you're perceived, right? Now, granted, you know, you might not know the term for it. You might not even know why, you know, somebody's face looks off, right? Why somebody's mid-face is fucked, right? But if they have a recessed upper maxilla, right, that could be potentially a reason, right? But you're not gonna know that that's what that is or that's what's causing it. You might just think like, oh, that person's like kind of ugly or weird looking. You probably wouldn't think of it that way just based on that one characteristic. It might just be like, you would just, you know, not be as attracted to them without even realizing why.
maybe I'm just a hater.
Then moved on to orbicularis oculi जिससे कि हमारा upper eyelid exposure कम हो सके.
And also your orbicularis oculi. Do people even really care about this? Or are you just doing this because you're just hyper analyzing it and you think everyone cares, when in reality, no one truly cares?
Well, no one cares about like each individual characteristic on its own. It's about how they sort of mesh together, right? It's about all the characteristics combined.
Then moved on to MPR for jaw gains and finalized our routine with thumb pulling. And also you can see my jaw gains.
Yeah, like all of this is like fucking cope.
And comment whether thumb pulling and all
none of this shit does
the
anything.
exercises are working or not. Peace.
I feel like he's just doing this stuff just to do it. And this is so insane.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree.
The top comment says,
this video isn't as bad as the second one. His second video was retarded.
you're Indian, bro. It was over before it began. That is insane. That is actually insane. And here's another one of these stupid methods from these looks maxers. This is apparently called eye area maxing, where you make your eyes wider. And this is the before.
They really just attach maxing to everything.
Or, as you can see, I guess he just has normal eyes. And this is his method. And as you can see, it looks like nothing really changed. All you did was put on mascara and open up your eyes, lil bro. You literally did nothing. Is that really eye area maxing, or are you just opening your eyes even more? And what makes this looks maxing community even more sad is that these—
wouldn't it be the other way around? Wouldn't they be squint maxing? Because like they want like a compact eye shape without upper eyelid exposure.
These guys have legit online forums where they quite literally just rate each other's looks all day long. There's a whole website for this looks maxing stuff called looksmax.org, and it's a whole forum of these guys just rating each other, giving out tips.
I'd rather just go on like the chords. I feel like people on the website are generally a little bit more schizo.
Doing all this BS. And there's also Reddit groups for these looks maxers to rate each other's looks and give each other tips. Here's actually one that I just found the funniest. This one is called r/mogwarts. And as you can see, the first picture, it's this guy saying need tips for improvement.
Yeah, I could see why. Like he's below average. He probably doesn't he most likely gets ignored by most people. Like if you look like that, you're probably gonna be invisible to society. Yo, thank you, Nicozer, for the £2 saying, did bro just say mascara does nothing? Yeah, I kind of glossed over it because I'm tired.
I've been having a hard time with my face. I think it's the fact that my maxilla is underdeveloped, yet mewing doesn't help. Besides the fact my face is filled with acne, and the fact I'm fat, I seem to also have small eyes that don't match with the rest of my face. I feel like this guy is just hyper.
No, what do you mean he's hyper-analyzing? Like, that these are the reasons why he is below average. Like, yeah, he's just, like, correct about that. Right? Like, him being below average isn't, like, a knock on his character. That's not, like, a moral indictment. That's not, like, a failing as a person. That doesn't make him, like, any less valuable as a human being. Like, he's still, you know, just as valuable as everybody else. But in terms of how he'll be treated in society, he won't be treated like he's just as valuable as everybody else. That's for sure, right? That's the real crux of the issue. So let's see. I have a hard time with my face. I think that my maxilla is underdeveloped. I wouldn't be able to tell from this angle. I'd have to see his side profile. Let's see. Mewing doesn't help. Yeah, mewing it can only do so much. Besides the fact my face is filled with acne, yup, Accutane would be the solution. I mean, yeah, if your maxilla doesn't have enough forward growth, there's, like, surgery for that. I don't know what his forward growth looks like on his mandible. I don't know what his mandibular forward growth is like. So, you know, he may or may not, you know, benefit from, like, you know, Bimax or something like that. And the fact that I'm fat, obviously deep low, just, like, lose weight. I also seem to have small eyes. I don't think his eyes are small. I think he's wrong about that. He does seem to have a negative canthal tilt, though. So that would be the issue. That don't match with the rest of my face. No, actually, I don't know about that. I don't think it's the eyes not matching with. I think the only issue is that they're a negative canthal tilt. I can't tell if he has upper eyelid exposure. They seem to be, like, one eyeball apart, I think. So I don't think that's the issue. Features that don't go together. For some reason, my left side looks way better than my right one. Yeah, there's a little bit of asymmetry there.
Analyzing, bro.
It's hard to tell if his upper maxilla is recessed or not. Because he weighs too much to be able to make that determination. Actually, yeah, his jaw in general is probably a bit recessed. He probably would benefit from Bimax, but again, it's hard to tell because he's overweight. But yeah, there seems to be, like, a lack of development there, if I'm not mistaken.
For you to care so much about just your eyes being small, that's something that you can't really change, you know? So why even?
Yes, you absolutely can. What are we talking about? Yeah, it's called orbital rim contouring. That's a thing that exists. So you're just like, why are you talking about shit you have no idea what you're saying. You have no clue what you're talking about. Yes, you can change how big your eyes look with orbital rim contouring. That's a thing you can do. And also, the forward growth of your upper maxilla is also going to, in part, determine how your eyes look relative to that as well. Right? That's also going to be a part of it. And also your brow bone. Your brow bone is also going to, in part, determine, because that's what frames the eyes. That's what's around the eyes. Right? All of these things around the eyes are in part going to determine what they look like.
Bother caring about it. My suggestion, don't worry too much about your maxilla. Don't worry about mewing, etc. You have pretty good features. Just keep focusing on skincare and fat loss.
I agree that that's, like, the best starting point.
Those two things alone will ascend you. When you've done both of those things, try maintaining your eyebrows as well as trying out new hairstyles / haircuts. Also, always stay clean shaven unless you have thick facial hair. The final step is learning how to take flattering photos. Lighting plus angles changes everything.
I agree with this. I'd understand if he wanted to go a bit further than this, but I think that this is, like, a better starting point. Like, if you don't do all of this, don't bother getting surgery, because there's no point if you're not willing to do any of this.
You said it all. This stuff is just sad to me, man. Rating completely.
Well, how is that sad? That was actually, like, very reasonable advice. That was less harsh than advice I would give. Like, I would be like, yeah, you could benefit from, like, a Bimax surgery, right? All the other advice I would also give. But I'd be like, yeah, like, you would look better if you got this, right? because it's just like, I'm not gonna lie.
Honest, why do you want a bunch of other men to rate you? I mean, unless you swing that way, you know, it's Pride Month and everything, but I assume you don't. So like, why do you want all these other men to rate you in a
Because like, if it's gonna be people that, not on the basis of whether or not they're men, right? It's gonna be people in that community will generally have like a better understanding of facial proportions because it's like their autistic hyperfixation, right? It's mine right now. It's like a really annoying one to have because it's like, really? I'm fucking fixated on looks maxing right now? This is what I fucking care about in my free time? But I do, so I may as well talk about it.
Reddit crew? What can I do to improve further and rate me 1 out of 10? Is this a
What a dog shit photo to do it with.
picture of him as a child? Why do you have a picture of you as a child and then you have a picture of you grown up? Are you trying to like show that you had a glow up? That is not a glow up. That's a freaking grow up. What are we doing? It's so backwards to me because you're having men rate how you look, and that's your litmus test on whether or not you're attractive to women. Instead of
Well, it's not, the men aren't basing it off of how attracted they are to you. They're basing it off of facial features and shit. Now, obviously, and I've said this, there's like oftentimes a discrepancy between like what the looks maxing community finds attractive or like finds valuable, like on the PSL scale. Like PSL gods are going to be a lot different in many cases from like, you know, appeal maxing gods, I guess, you know, people that women find attractive. There is a bit of a disparity there. But there's just like something you have to account for when participating in these types of communities. It's like, yeah, they're going to value, like they're going to overvalue certain things and undervalue other things, in terms of attractiveness. But again, that's just like something you have to account for. Also, thank you, Nico Zer, for the additional £2 saying, what's wrong with men giving each other tips? I don't know. Apparently it's gay to give other people advice. It's gay to give advice to the homies, I guess. Look, I make jokes about looks maxers being homoerotic all the time, but like, it ain't that serious. Like, you know, at the end of the day, like, yeah, maybe it can be perceived that way, but like, I don't see, even if it is, like, what's wrong with that?
actually going up and maybe talking to a woman, or maybe even just touching grass, or maybe getting a
Yeah, but like if you look like a, you know, disgusting ogre and you approach a woman and ask her out, like she's going to be scared. Right? If you look like Chad and you ask her out, she's going to think, "Oh, that's so sweet. He's so confident and kind. You know, how sweet of him to, you know, ask me out like that. Oh, he brought me flowers." Right? How it's perceived is going to be different based on how you look. Right? And you acknowledge this at the start of your video. Right? So it's not just about
low job or something like that. I know I just used a slur. I didn't mean to use the J slur, but maybe get a job. You wouldn't be so focused on this stuff. Okay. So
yeah, right. Because a job will, well, a job would be useful in terms of saving for plastic surgery. So I don't disagree with them there. But
I feel like I just have to bring this up, but with the research of this video, I've also learned a new term, sub 5. So if you're unfamiliar with what a sub 5 is,
I mean, is that really a new term? How can you not know what that is? Yeah, it means you're below a 5 out of 10. Everybody fucking knows this. You don't even have to be in the community to know.
According to Urban Dictionary, it's a person who is below a 5 out of 10 on the black pill / looks maxing look scale. People
yeah, no fucking shit, dude.
in this range are seen as conventionally unattractive and often feel as if they're invisible to the opposite sex. Now, apparently this is like a term that's used a lot within the whole looks maxing community, and I just find it super cringe. Like if we're referring to
it depends on the context. Really.
Human beings as sub 5s and just all this.
I refer to myself
That just sounds so dumb. I'm sorry. But what's even more insane to me than this odd term is the looks maxing edits. Now, y'all saw the edit earlier. That was cringe. But what if I told you that there are even more cringe looks maxing edits out there? Like this one right here.
All right, guys. Whoever catches these flowers gets to be my girlfriend. 3, 2, 1.
Oh my god, I want that shit.
Now we really got to break this down to a science.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty fucking
We
gay.
really have to analyze this. Okay, so the start where he says whoever catches these flowers will be my girlfriend. It's obviously a skit. That's the Chica dance guy who was dancing every day until he got a girlfriend on TikTok.
Yet nobody's claiming the contrary.
And he became a huge meme. And from what I can tell, these looks maxers have no humor in them, because I guess once you looks max so much, your humor just completely leaves you and
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm not very funny right now. That's just because I'm
you
tired.
can't detect what's a skit and what's not a skit. And yeah, I guess they just took this serious.
Did they? I don't
seriously?
know.
And also, I wonder, why is there a watch at the bottom left of this whole edit? Like, what is this?
I don't know. It was made by some fucking retarded 13-year-old, I'm sure.
Halith watch. What is this? Is this a TikTok ad? And then I wonder, what are these schizophrenic graphs that just pop up randomly for like a split second? What does all this BS mean? And when I tell you, these comments are so cringe. Looks are everything. No, he's just unlikable. Bro, he was obviously joking, man. I'm so glad there's somebody who understands in the comment section. Here's another looks maxing edit where I guess it's some sort of dating show and one guy gets swiped left on while the other guy gets swiped right on. And these looks maxers decide to make this an edit, basically making fun of the guy and essentially just calling him ugly.
I mean, yeah, because, like, yeah, it's probably his looks that got him rejected. Like, that's kind of the point. Is that looks matter. Yeah, the edit's cringe, but, like...
This is literal brain rot. Oh my god, this is brain rot. Obviously, she's gonna choose someone who she's attracted to.
I mean... Yeah,
I want a nerdy guy. Do you think everyone is created equal? Really? And here's another edit where there's a guy and I guess he's asking a girl to like prom or homecoming or something. And he has a sign and some roses. And it seems like the girl says no, hell no, you know? And she rejected the guy, unfortunately. And these looks maxers decide to make an edit out of this as well.
Yeah, I think the point is, yeah, if he looked like Chad instead, that like... Yeah, the girl would have been like, oh my god, it's so sweet. This is the point that I made earlier. That's, like, this is literally what I was saying before. Like, how attractive you're perceived as ultimately determines, like, how it's, you know, certain things are perceived. That's the fucking point. Like, if any of the people in the edit did it, it would have been, she would have accepted the flowers. That's the point that they're making.
Would he get rejected if he was true Tyrone? She wants Anthony.
I mean, yeah, probably not, because she'd be more attracted to him. Or maybe she would reject him. Maybe she has a boyfriend. Who fucking knows?
Joshua, not him. Okay, shout out Anthony Joshua. I love me some boxing, you know, huss. Might just get knocked out. But yeah, I don't think it's that she wants Anthony Joshua. I guess she just didn't want bro right there. Sub 5 rejecting sub 5.
I don't think the woman was sub 5.
Okay, I'm pretty sure y'all get the gist, you know. Pretty much, they just take a sad moment or maybe a skit or even something funny that's supposed to be comedic. They'll take it super seriously, make an edit out of it with a bunch of men that they find attractive and basically just try to shit on other people. And I just find it so corny.
I don't think that's the goal. I mean, maybe some of that. Maybe for some people it is, but I think it's just like meant to be like, yeah, isn't it so depressing that, you know, these people who, you know, look way better than, you know, you or I, you know, they be getting all the bitches. I think that's the point. Like, yeah, it's a little bit cringe, but like you're like, you don't even understand the point that's being
Looks
made.
maxing trend is so cringy. Me looking at them, brutally mugging them.
Yeah, this is like embarrassing. Like this is either satire or this is like made by like an 11-year-old.
Face review.
Like, is this really worth covering?
Exactly. It's not gonna happen. So while researching this
yeah, because it's made by some retarded 11-year-old.
video, I also found this
They'll grow out of it.
I guess graph right here that tells you how your nose shape is rated within the looks maxing community.
All right. Greek, 10 out of 10. Turn up, which is kind of what I want. It's like an upturned nose. 9 out of 10. Snub, 7 out of 10. Flat, 4 out of 10. Roman, oh, that's like what I have. 2 out of 10. Fuck. It's over, chat. Okay, I don't think mine looks as bad as the Roman one, but then fleshy, 0 out of 10. I mean, yeah, fair.
A Greek nose, 10 out of
Yeah, some
10.
Like,
Turn up nose, 9 out of 10.
I think the turn up nose is
Snub nose, 7 out of 10.
That's the one I
10.
want.
Black nose, 4 out of 10. Roman nose, 2 out of 10. And then fleshy
Fleshy nose is crazy.
nose, 0 out of 10. And I find it so sad that there's 3,000 people that legit save this. They're probably thinking every day like, man, I have a fleshy nose. I'm a 0 out of 10 to these random
Nah, dude, my nose is a 2 out of 10. Don't
people
worry.
online. Oh my gosh.
That's the thing is I could just get
I just find
surgery.
it so dumb. But yeah, it's looking like I have the Roman nose maybe, or maybe even the fleshy nose. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, dude.
Y'all tell me in the comment section below.
I don't think that any of them match yours.
And if you thought that the looks maxing community couldn't get any more cringe, what if I told you that they have looks maxing apps that rate people on if they're attractive or not? Oh, you thought the Reddit groups were crazy and the looks maxing websites? Yeah, these looks maxing apps are even crazier. The video that you guys are seeing popped up on the screen right now is this app Umax, and this is, I guess, the app that looks maxers use to
I'm gonna download it. Better not cost money.
rate themselves. This just gets sadder and sadder. Like the more I speak about these looks maxers, I just realize how like far gone these people are. And the funniest thing is that these apps aren't free. Yes, they are free in the App Store, but to actually utilize them, you have to pay a weekly
Okay, yeah, that's
subscription
fair.
in order to get that rating. And
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
it's only
shit.
like $4 or $5.
Dude, I'm not
But
spending that.
I still think that's a complete ripoff. If you need to spend $4 or $5,
I mean, Chad, if you want to buy me $5 worth of looks maxing apps, feel free to donate and say that that's what you're donating for. But otherwise, I'm not doing that shit. Not even for a video.
for an app to tell you if you're masculine or if you have potential or if you look good, then you have some serious thinking to do. Like go into a room, sit down, and just think for a second. When I tell you, I will walk through the Sahara Desert dressed like an Eskimo before I have an app tell me if I'm attractive or not. I'm telling that AI, amen, say man.
I don't think it just says if you're attractive or not. It's like not like a binary. Like it's measuring your facial features and like, you know, telling you like, oh, here's what could be improved.
If you're not rocking with Young Cam Slam Busticle, then get a step in, Lil. You're an AI. You do not have a face. Get off my balls. Okay, that's kind of a diss. Hold on. I'm dissing AI right now. Terminator, do not come after me. But yeah, in conclusion, there's nothing wrong with trying to better yourself. I truly believe the whole idea
Yeah, but in your second video, you argue against getting surgery for no reason.
of looks maxing is a good idea. Just trying to maximize your looks. As a human, you always
Yeah, but you're only in favor of like normie soft maxing shit.
want to strive for the
You're like anti-surgery.
best each and every day, and that makes complete sense, you know? But do not take this looks maxing to these extremes. Don't become one of these people
Well, don't take anything to the point where it's too extreme. Yeah.
that hyperfixate on their looks 24/7, because you're more
Well, yeah, you probably don't want to hyperfixate on anything 24/7.
than your looks. I'm no
There's a reason why it's like usually autistic people that
self-help
do it.
guru or anything, but I believe it's all
This guy has the million head. Y'all are fucking
about how
brutal.
you carry yourself.
Femi, are you tired? Yeah, very.
Accept who you are and own who you are. If you got a big forehead, own it. Y'all don't
Unattractive people are forced to just settle. Yeah, and it's like, let's say there's like an ugly couple, okay? They're both 4 out of 10, okay? Both of them would be happier if they both looks maxed and descended into 6 out of 10s, right? It just like maximize human happiness, right? Just saying.
see me wearing hats and I have this huge forehead. That's because, you know, I'm comfortable with this forehead. I'm a
Yeah, good for you, but like not everyone wants to look the same as they currently
flash
do.
this forehead any chance I get. Look at it. Look at it. Just look at it. Look at it right now. And from showing off this forehead,
Look at how not insecure I am, guys.
I've reached 200,000 subscribers, and I wanted to thank every single one of you people who've made it this far. And I'm never gonna stop showing this forehead. But yeah, I feel like that's a great message to end this video
Wow, very inspirational.
off on. Love yourself so you don't fall into these weird looks maxing extremes. That being said, this is gonna wrap up the video. If you guys made
Well, that was fucking lame and underwhelming. You didn't even like say anything that disagreeable for the most part in that one. I thought it was gonna be like, you know, maybe as bad as the first one we saw, but no. The first one we saw was way better content. Anyways, I'm bored. I'm tired. I'll do a Discord VC, why not? But I'm really fucking tired, dude. I can't do this. Oh well. Bye. Love y'all. Do you stream every day? I try to. Manipulation and emotional events spent. Trump looks 100% of the time. Depends. Depends on like what way are you emotionally invested and who you are. Right? Because like a lot of people, like they're not going to date somebody in the first place if they don't find them attractive physically. So like what they'll do is they'll just, so like, you know, now if they settle for that person, right, and eventually somebody probably will, right, then like, yeah, they're probably going to get treated like shit, right? And that the sort of manipulation and emotional investment will take over if they do, right? You're not getting into whoever you want to fuck's head. The only thing they'll care about is your looks. Psychopath Max instead. I don't know if I'm meant to respond to that seriously. I don't know if that's like a real comment that I should take seriously or if it's like a... I'm too tired. I'm barely awake. I got no sleep. Bye, y'all. Why does it say reconnecting? What the fuck? Anyways, see ya.